The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey guys, Anthony Devine here, and want to thank you for joining me and my special guest tonight, Thursday evening. If depending where you are, of course, in the world, it could be sometime Friday for you, or perhaps earlier in the day on Thursday. But regardless of where you're calling in from, I just want to thank you so much for taking valuable time out of your day to be with us today for this live training call. And I can tell you it's going to be well worth your time. I think I tried to stress that in the emails I've sent out the last few days. This is a very unique opportunity here to really learn something new that good chances you've never heard of this before. And I know it sounds kind of hypey or whatever, but you will soon see that. So before we get started, though, before I do a real brief introduction of my of our special guest, just want to make sure that since I'm babbling on here already, that you can actually hear me. So if you could in the chat box, either put a one, a yes, or a Y, something just to indicate that you can hear me okay. I appreciate that. All right, awesome. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Will, Dennis. Hola, Dennis. Um, and several others as well. Thank you so much, Ricardo. I appreciate you guys all doing that. So it's good you can hear me. And what we're going to do today, like I said, is we're going to get started. I like to be real quick. I do want to mention up front, though, there is not going to be. I've got it recording, but you might see that. But I'm under strict orders not to give out a recording. So it's important that you listen today, take notes, make sure you don't have any distractions because we might have an encore, but there's not going to be a recording that I'm going to be handing out per se. So make sure you stay for the duration. Like I said, make sure you have all the distractions off and all that. And it's just that good of content. And you definitely do not want to, step away and possibly not be able to get back on. So with that, just allow me to do a brief intro so we can get started here. You're in for a very special live training tonight. I promise you, you've never seen anything like this before, what you're about to learn. I mean, I've been around for several years now, full time in internet marketing, doing online type of stuff, marketing, like affiliate marketing, email marketing, also what we used to call offline marketing, or some people call local marketing or digital marketing, working with local businesses. I mean, I've seen the gamut of just about everything, but I can tell you this is the first time I've ever seen what you're about to learn. So that kind of tells you how exciting it is what we're going to learn here together. And I'm so honored to be able to deliver this content and value to you tonight. Now, our guest is going to take us behind the curtains and the scenes of a 6 million per year business, which I think is actually growing. And that might be a small number because I know just from the 1st of February of this year, so about 23 days now, has been able to generate over $800,000 this month alone. So that's just a little over 3 weeks. So those numbers, they can sound hyped up. So what I've done is asked our a special guest today to show some proof and bring some proof, and he's agreed to do so, which you'll be able to see later on. So I mean, we're talking about obviously some serious dinero, so to speak, or cash, dollars, however you want to pronounce it. Any way you look at it, just very successful. So we're very fortunate to have him take time out of obviously his busy schedule to teach you his unique business. I can tell you there's nothing going to be held back. That's why there's not going to be a replay for everything I'm talking about. So make sure you stay where you are because you do not want to get left behind on something like this. It's that special. And, what is also special about today's training is the person that will be teaching it actually does what he's teaching. Now, it might not sound like a big statement, but I can tell you, which is unfortunate in the internet marketing space here, is there are some those who don't necessarily practice what they teach. And you can call them fake marketers, or those who tell you what to do, just don't, they're going to tell you what to do, but they aren't going to do it themselves. That's not the case here. You're going to learn all about his business, and this is exactly what he's doing. So kind of the way to look at it is ask yourself a question. If you were wanting to learn how to be a quarterback in the NFL, would you just buy a course from somebody claiming to be an expert quarterback, or would you just go straight to somebody like, if you could, of course, quite theory go to I'd say Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons, but since they lost the Super Bowl so horrendously, I'd probably tend to sign on to have Tom Brady of New England Patriots with that with such a comeback. Who would you rather be coached or taught by? Would it be just somebody claiming to be an expert quarterback, or if you could, just to have the expert quarterback? Of course, it seems pretty obvious you're going to want to learn from the expert quarterback who's real quarterback, the real professional, not somebody who's just a self-proclaimed expert. And that's what's exactly what you're going to be learning from tonight. You're going to be learning from the real expert in this area. I mean, the expert on the planet, so to speak. So tonight you're going to learn about his secret traffic source that has been around for about 4 years, yet nobody seems to know about it or hear about it, which is pretty amazing. He's also going to share his actual one-page, kind of an ugly-looking website, but that doesn't matter because bottom line is it makes him tons of money. And you're also going to actually meet others that at one point in time were sitting in the exact same place you are right now, who have since then implemented what you're about to learn and are now reaping the financial rewards. So, you don't want to go anywhere. You want to stay put. Like I said, turn off all the distractions because at this point in time, I can tell you anyone can do this regardless of your experience. So the other thing I would say, plus you can do this from anywhere around the world. So it really is the ultimate lifestyle business. And now with all that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it straight over to our special guest, none other than William Meers II. William, can you hear me okay?
I can. I appreciate you introing us. It means a lot to us, and I'm really excited. We get to share a lot of really good stuff here today, and we're actually going to do some work. So I hope you guys came prepared, guys and gals out there. Hope they came prepared to do a little bit of work, because it's totally going to be worth it in the end. If that's okay with you guys. If that's okay, by the way, put a 1 in the chat box just so I know you guys can hear me okay, and that's a good deal to get some work done, make some money. What do you say? Everybody good with that? Okay, good, good, good. All right. So by now you've probably already read this screen. This is, this is definitely my opinion, but you'll see why after we do some work together here today. This is the easiest and fastest way to build an online business, and I'm talking as big as you want from anywhere you want. And it's only going to require a 20-minute work week. Actually, that 20-minute work week, it no longer requires 20 minutes of work. I know that sounds crazy, but I'll tell you a little bit more about how that no longer applies. There's no SEO, there's no clients, no experience in one really ugly ass site. Man, it's really embarrassing actually. I always have a good laugh with everybody about it. So let's move on and get started. In other words, this is super simple, okay? And it produces results like this. I just want to show you guys. So I'm going to show you lots and lots of people that are doing this. I'm just going to give you a taste for now so that you can see, oh crap, this is something I really do need to pay attention to and actually do the work with William today, right? So this is a guy, actually, James Diamond, this is a post. I can show you this a little bit later, made literally a few days ago. I'm not kidding, 2 or 3 days ago, $6,000 in just 2.5 months, and this is him just ramping up. There's his screenshots. You can see where he posted it in his comments here, and this is the actual screenshot here of the money being made. Pretty cool stuff. Jesse Anima, I think it's Anima picked up several clients. It's not this is his first one, obviously, that he picked up back in September, but he keeps picking them up, and he's doing high dollar amounts here, and very easily. By the way, these people love him and love his delivery. We've got Daniel here who's picking up clients, $300 for 10 leads, so $30 a lead, and he's basically at the plug and play point where he's figuring out how to invoice people for money. So if that gets you excited, give me a little bit of keyboard feedback is what I call it. Punch a bunch of stuff in there, put a bunch of keys in there. Let me see what you got in the chat box, just so I know you guys are okay. Good, good, good. Everybody's wanting to see this. Cool, great. Well, I'm wanting to share it with you. So here's our timeline, just so we can be respectful of each other's time, and so you can see as we go throughout the work that we do together today, how I deliver on each of these pieces. Okay, so I'm not gonna go through each of these points. I just wanted to show you the timeline here, and we'll cover each point. So uh, I really hate, I don't want to say I hate, I don't enjoy talking about myself that much. I really don't. So I'm just going to keep it nice and simple and call myself the head advisor of the Kallzu Ads division. Okay, that's me on the right. This is what I do. I do laugh. I do smile. I have a good time. This is Chris Winters, who's the founder of Kallzu. Okay, and a lot of you might know Chris Winters. It's a very appropriate picture. Chris is always on the go and runs his business from anywhere, and so that's a big piece of what we do at Kallzu. Now, to get to where Chris was, there was a lot of change that had to happen. Actually, a very big change that needed to happen. If any of you, I don't know if any of you know Chris's story or not, but I'm going to give you just a little bit of a rundown, just really quickly. This is a car that Chris had converted over to vegetable oil and drove down to an event. I'm trying to remember where. I think it was somewhere in Cali, and he literally slept in the back seat of this thing um, to attend the event, and that was where Chris was at. This is, I think, I want to say 2000 and oh crap, I might misquote here. It's either 2007 or 2009. It might be 2009, sometime ago. This is a before and after pic. So the picture on the left is actually the same guy of the guy on the right. That's not a joke. Chris, that's how he looked when he was doing the whole Mercedes vegetable oil, like sleeping in the back seat thing, just to be near the best and brightest of the industry, right? And so now look at him today. I mean, he's come a hell of a long way. I mean, from that vegetable oil Mercedes, now he's cruising around in some much nicer models of Mercedes. And here you can see him speaking at several high-profile events. He was the winner of the Bill Phillips Body Transformation Challenge, I think is what they call it, something like that. Those of you who know Bill Phillips, and that's how Chris totally turned everything around. Here he is with John Assaraf, one of the gentlemen from The Secret, the movie The Secret, you guys might know. He's here he is with Mike Koenigs in Digital Cafe, which is a very popular spot. You guys might recognize that right off the bat. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Chris got a call one day from a guy named Dan Kennedy. You guys might know who Dan Kennedy is. Everybody put a 1 in the chat box if you know who Dan Kennedy is. We got people that know who Dan Kennedy is, like the greatest copywriter of all time. The guy really does his stuff, right? Okay, great. You guys got it too. So Chris, at the time, was so busy with everything, didn't know who was reaching out to him, and it was someone on behalf of Dan Kennedy, because Dan Kennedy wanted to interview Chris because he was doing an interview series of millionaires who made it big during the crash. And so he's like, "Who's Dan Kennedy?" And they say, "Well, you should probably do a Google search." And he does a Google search. It's like, "Oh, okay, well, let's do let's do the interview." And here he is actually sitting down with Dan Kennedy in the studio doing that interview. And I say all that to say this: this recent screenshots. You guys want some more proof, right? Chris does in the Kallzu Ads division, or excuse me, in the Kallzu division overall. January 2017. This is his personal agency. This is what he does on a monthly for January 2017. You can see February. He's already up $817,000 for the month of January, and it's not, or excuse me, February, and it's not even over yet. So lots more to come in. And we're not. I'm not showing you that to brag about Chris or about myself or anything. Again, I told you I don't like doing that kind of thing. But I just want to show you what's possible. Isn't that what we're here to do? Is explore the possibilities and actually make something happen. Now, with that being said, with any business, your results are going to vary, and they're going to be based totally on your individual capacity, your business experience, your expertise, and ultimately your level of desire. That's one of the biggest things I've seen from all of our students and Chris himself, and even in my personal story. So here we are. You can see Chris on the left, and here's me on the right. I was a little overweight, huh? I've lost a lot of weight since then. This is us back in the Marketer's Mansion in 2012. That was an event I put on with a fellow marketer some years ago. And again, I'm not very comfortable talking about myself. It's more of an ego thing I just want to stay away from. And I let my achievements speak, for themselves behind the scenes, right? I'm a very behind the scenes kind of guy. Uh, this is us again in Barcelona, and some of the people you're going to be hearing from Marlon here. This guy's Gurpal. There's me on the far right, and there's Chris in the middle, hanging out in Barcelona at an event that we put on. And here's the deal: my personal focus, my only focus, is to see you succeed. And I say that I know you probably hear that a lot, or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't hear it enough. I don't know. But I want to show you why, and show you that that's not just something I say. That's not just like a line. That's what I built this entire uh, this entire model with Chris on, and I think that's why Chris and I work so well together. You can see here some of our members. You saw Marlon, the picture there of him earlier. How we made his campaigns more profitable. Honestly, give a crap about people's success. There's his brother, Chris. The Dart brothers are pretty cool. Says, I have a teacher's heart. You can tell I truly want everyone to be successful. Tireless dedication. These are all members, by the way, that just make stuff happen, right? Very, very grateful for William's support. Patience of a Buddhist monk. I don't know about that, but I tend to be pretty patient. So, with that being said, I want to share a story with you about what's possible from a different perspective. This is I want to introduce you to Gurpal, the miserable movie union worker. That's a mouthful, isn't it? This is Gurpal on the left. You can see him hard at work there, taking a selfie. And he's an electrician, a union electrician on movie sets. So he's worked on movie sets and TV show sets like The Flash, 50 Shades of Grey series, the Planet of the Apes series. There he is at work looking extremely happy, right? Looks like he's not miserable at all, right? And here he is on the way to work. Actually, this picture, I told him, he said he was having a miserable day, and I said, really? It just started, because you can see his coffee in his hand. And he said, let me send you a picture. And he sent me this picture, and I said, man, this is the picture we're going to use when you make it. I'm going to show everybody this picture so they can see exactly where you came from, brother, because look at this. This is miserable, right? Pouring down rain. He's up in Vancouver, so it's cold. And he's got his coffee, and he's on his way to work. And this guy works, by the way, with his union electrician job, 12 to 16-hour shifts. Like, it's a minimum 12-hour shift. And when you have minimum 12 hours, you don't have much time for yourself, let alone for trying to build up a business or an agency, right? It's crazy. So look at this. Here's what I want to show you guys, that he built this up very, very quickly. And you can grow this. Two big points I want to make known here again. You can grow this as big as you want from anywhere in the world. Okay, you can see where he's earning commissions, and he's like, today's not even over yet, so there's probably more conversions. This stuff works. Stick with it. Here he is, December 21st, not too long ago, where in one day he pulled in 184 dollars in affiliate commissions. Pretty awesome. Not bad for a miserable movie union worker working 12 to 16-hour shifts, being able to put this together, right? Pretty cool. Put a 1 in the chat box, or give me some keyboard feedback in the chat box if you guys can kind of feel his pain or relate to his story. Yeah, I kind of thought maybe there are a few of you out there. I totally get it, guys. I totally get it. And that's the beautiful thing about this, is when a guy who works his ass off 12, 16-hour shifts every day, I mean, for movie sets, he gets to watch all these famous people too. Like, it's just like rubbing salt in the wound almost, right? And he's able to come and do this. This is pretty cool, and do it very quickly. So again, 3 easy steps that anyone can do. I'm going to introduce you to all these. We're going to cover our secret untapped traffic source. Pretty awesome. And then we're going to show you this ugly page, that the one-page site that I made. And you don't have to worry about whether you're a web developer or not. It doesn't even matter, because no human's ever going to see the site, so it doesn't even matter. Okay. And yes, the site is way more ugly than this pitiful-looking dog. And step 3, we sit back and collect the money, and I'm going to show you how we do that too. Okay. So Hopefully we didn't take up too much time there. We wanted to explain to you who we are, why that should matter to you, and what you're going to be able to do with that. We've met Gurpal, and now we're going to go into the untapped traffic, secret traffic source. So put a 1 in the chat box if you use SEO. Let me see who uses SEO. Who uses SEO? I'm not seeing any ones yet. Oh my goodness. You guys use SEO? Nobody use. Oh, there's a. Okay, so people use. Okay, good. A few of you use SEO. Good. I think there was just a delay on the chat box there. So problems with SEO. Everybody that does SEO knows this, and probably people that don't do SEO know this, and that's probably why they don't do SEO. Is because it takes a long time to rank for keywords. You're at the mercy of Google's algorithm updates, which means you're going to be creating a lot of site content, quality content, right? And that with that kind of effort and energy, and you're just totally subject to being slapped at any time, it's very difficult to create a predictable income, right? That's the main problems with SEO, and it could look something like this if you're trying to figure out a formula for SEO, right? If you're not very familiar with it at all, and it's constantly. Think of this formula as constantly changing. It's always evolving. SEO today is not what it was 10 years ago. It's totally different, and so something to think about there. Put a 2 in the chat box if you use any kind of AdWords pay-per-click. I want to see some 2s. Anybody use any paid ads through AdWords? Okay, yeah, good. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. You know as well as I do, if you're spending money on clicks, you're going to have to spend a lot of money before you can make any profit. We're talking usually thousands before you can really dial things in, right? You've also got to build out and test constantly a high quality landing page, right? And your cost per click is very expensive, or can get very expensive depending on your markets, and that obviously cuts into your profits, right? Those are big problems with the AdWords pay-per-click model. In fact, we actually went and found some resources. Entrepreneur and Forbes are pretty big publications, and they've got people advocating for why you shouldn't advertise on Google AdWords. I mean, you kind of know why. I mean, it's really expensive. So, how many? Put a 3 in the chat box if you do any kind of affiliate marketing. How many out there do any affiliate marketing, or have done affiliate marketing? A few of you? Okay, good, 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 good. So I'm not going to talk about the disadvantages because there's not really that many, if any, that are major. In fact, there's really mainly just benefits. So the benefits of affiliate marketing, you don't have to acquire any clients, you don't have to manage any clients, right? That's a dream come true, right? You're going to get paid without the hassles of having to deal with customer service on a daily basis, right? And that basically means that you can scale your business easily by staying focused on your growth rather than managing clients all the time, right? So those are the benefits of affiliate marketing. And I want to tell you about the top secret untapped traffic source. We're actually going to work with it. Okay, I told you we are going to do some work today too. You're probably like, well, where the hell's the work? It's coming in the next couple of seconds here. So about this traffic source, it's the most effective thing I've ever seen. It's more effective than Google AdWords pay-per-click. It is the #1 traffic source in the world. It costs 80% less than Google AdWords pay-per-click, and it's almost too easy to set up. And the biggest point of all, Anthony mentioned this earlier, no one's using this. I don't know why, but no one's using it. It's crazy. Uh, so it's a big advantage. So before I show you and we actually start doing some of the work with that traffic source, let's play business owner for a minute. So if you're a business owner, what's more valuable to you, paying for a click to your website or a live phone call from someone who needs help right now? Put a 1 in the chat box if you think it's a click to the website. And if you think it's a live phone call, put a 2 in the chat box. Let's see what kind of answers we get here. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page. Yeah, 2. Okay, good. 2 all day, every day. Amen. All right, so you guys are on board. Awesome. A live phone call, right? Now, here's the problem, right? We've established that we need to generate a live phone call, right? But to generate a live phone call using Google AdWords pay-per-click, it can be anywhere from, actually it could be, depending on your market, way more than this, but on a conservative level, it could cost you anywhere from $50 to $100 per call. I'm actually going to show you the math on that. We're going to work through that together here in just a few minutes. That sounds pretty expensive, doesn't it? Even at just $50 to $100 a call? I mean, this is why, by the way, Forbes, Entrepreneur, like this is why they're saying not to use paid traffic for driving phone calls, right? Because it's just too damn expensive, right? So here's the solution. All right, the top secret untapped traffic source is $5 to $10 per live phone call, okay? Versus spending the $50 to $100, or in a lot of cases more, for the exact same live phone call. It's no different. The only difference is you're spending way, way less. Okay, you guys follow? Pretty cool stuff. So let's make a simple yet unique AdWords campaign that no one else knows how to do, and let's do that right now. What do you say? Give me a one in the chat box if you want to do that right now. Or keyboard feedback, whatever is appropriate. Depends on your level of excitement. Okay, great. Oh, goodness. Okay, feedback is awesome. All right, so let's do that. Let's jump out of the presentation. Uh-oh. You guys are like, what? We're jumping out of a presentation. Let me jump out here and we're going to do some work. What do you guys say? So let's go into our AdWords platform. We're going to create a campaign and we're going to click on Search Network Only. Everybody see that? The drop down, click Campaign, Search Network Only. And we're not going to name the campaign for now. We're just going to select call only ads. Okay, this is the deal right here. This is what makes the difference. So we're not doing standard ads. We're doing call only ads. Ads that are placed on devices that can make phone calls. Only devices that can make phone calls. Okay. By the way, after we go through these settings and you save this campaign, you can actually load it up with just a click by loading from existing campaigns. I'm going to go through this all for you so that way you have everything. But that's a nifty little trick you can use a little bit later to set your campaigns up faster. So we want to exclude the Google Search Network. We don't want any of that. We just want, or excuse me, search partners. We only want the search network. I misspoke there. We want the search network, just not the search partners. And you can see we're only running ads on mobile devices that can make phone calls. We're going to target, just for example's sake, United States. And under location, we're going to select only the people in that targeted location, which is the United States, right? We don't want people that are searching for or who show interest in the United States. That's a lot of people outside of the United States, right? We only want to target people physically located in the United States, okay? We've already got the exclusions good. Okay, bid strategy. We just come down here, we select manual CPC. We make sure enable enhanced is unselected, just like that, just like it is. And we're going to put in a default bid of, let's say, like $3 a call. And let's do a budget of like $50 a day. We don't actually have to spend $50 a day. I'll show you how that works in a minute. But this shows Google, hey, we want to spend some money on some phone calls, like help us drive some phone calls. And that'll get your traffic flowing, okay? Want to make sure the delivery method is set to standard. It should be there already, but just make sure, double check. And we're going to set our schedule. So let's do a typical, what would be Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? Pretty standard. And on the ad delivery and ad rotation, most people optimize for clicks. Here's the thing. This is not Google pay-per-click. This is not your normal pay-per-click campaign. We're not optimizing for clicks because we don't want clicks. We want phone calls, right? Now, it takes clicks on your ad to generate phone calls, which means technically, mind you, that the more clicks you have, the more phone calls you'll get. But that's not always the case. And because it's not the case, Google is going to optimize, if we have this selected, for clicks, not for phone calls. So in order to optimize for phone calls, we need to do that manually and tell Google, hey, I'll make the decisions on that. You rotate them indefinitely, and I'll make the decisions on which ad that's converting better gets to run and which ones get shut off, because you don't want it based on the click. You want it based on you want to show your ads based on the phone call conversion, right? That's the deal. That's it. That's all we got to do. We just hit save and continue. It's not all we got to do. I take that back. We got to make an ad, but that's the campaign created. There we go, right? So our campaign is created. Now we are in the why is this taking? It's taking a little bit to load. There we go. Okay, business name. So we're going to do just as an example. There's a lot of different verticals we can tap into here. But we're going to do pest control, okay? Just for now. We're going to tap into a couple others too here in a second. So pest control, phone number. Let me grab some information here. I just had some posted up here. Grab that phone number. We're going to grab some copy here. obviously we use very targeted copy. This is just example copy for the driving the phone call, right? We want to drive the phone call. Uh, Let me see here. Let me take that out. There we go. And display URL. Where are you at? There you are. We're going to grab this, put that in verification, do the same thing here, and we'll take this out. Just like that. We want to make sure call reporting is on, count the conversions, or phone calls as conversions, and we're going to select our pest control here. And then we come down here, we're going to see how much a call costs for the term pest control, okay? Now before I do that, I'm going to hit this estimate search traffic button, okay? Before I do that, I want to show you guys something really quickly with pest control. So we're under the keyword planner. I just switched screens on everybody. Everybody following? So we're under the keyword planner. I typed in pest control, and if you look, pest control costs how much? $14 a click, right? It's actually the average because of the peak season. We're not in the peak season right now. The average, it averages out to about 20 bucks a click, $19 a click. So we'll call it 19, but $14 to $19 a click, okay? Crazy, crazy numbers. I just wanted to show you that. By the way, how many clicks do you think it's going to take to make a phone call, right? That's not per phone call. That's not per phone call, right? These are not call-only ads. There is no way to get call-only ad data inside of the keyword planner as of the time of this training, right? There's no way to do that. So if this is strictly based on pay-per-click, $14 minimum per click, how many clicks are going to take to make a phone call, right? You guys follow? Now let me come back over here. I'm going to show you pest control under the call-only ads, right? We're still under call-only ads here. Let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to show you guys something really cool. Does everybody see that number? Or those two numbers rather? Put that in, put the high number in the chat box if you can see that. Yeah, that's right. $1.95. That's correct. So just under $2, okay, per click. Okay, that's per click. Now, the way we set up our ads, most of our clicks, and I say most, I'm talking 80 to 90% of our clicks, turn into phone calls, which is pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. Even if it took 2 clicks at $2, that's $4 a phone call, right? I mean, over here under regular pay-per-click, what are you paying? Right? And how many of these do you have to have before you get a phone call? Because these go to a website. These clicks right here are on a mobile phone. These clicks literally populate the phone with the phone number, and all they have to do is hit the call button. That's the power here. You guys seeing that? Hopefully you guys see that. Okay, so that's I'm not going to save this ad group or anything, but this is I just wanted to show you the math here. Pest control, we can do another one. We can do DUI attorney. So DUI attorney, let's take a look and see what that looks like. Yeah, a little bit higher, but that's not bad. And it may take a couple more clicks to get a qualified lead, right? Qualified call. A DUI attorney, right? DUI attorney. And if we go over to keyword, watch what happens. DUI attorney, right? Good ideas. Anybody have any guesses? Yeah, it's like $66, $67, right? Per click. Versus what was it? Like $2, right? And you know these are going to turn into phone calls versus these, it could be an email opt-in, it could be just a site visit and somebody bounce. It's not a guaranteed, you know what I mean, phone call. It's just not that way. Okay, so let's come back to the screen and let's do some math. What do you guys say? Now that we got some numbers to work with here. So let's see, it takes a presentation a little bit time to load here, huh? So at $19, remember for the pest control, from what we were doing, how many on the regular pay-per-click, how many at $19 a click? How many of those clicks? Put in the chat box. How many clicks it would take? You think it would take to generate a phone call? 10. I'm seeing some 10s. Okay. Any other numbers? We got any other numbers? 7 to 10, 5 to 6. Okay, cool. Let's just be extremely conservative and say that you guys have this thing super, super dialed in, okay? And I'm going to be very generous when I say that. So let's say it only takes you 4 clicks, just 4, okay? It's a lot lower than everybody else was thinking, right? So 4 clicks at 19 bucks on the average. Doing the old way with pay-per-click, you're looking at $76 a phone call for a pest control phone call, okay? 76 bucks. Now you know why Forbes and Entrepreneur are saying what they're saying. Whereas if we do it the new way, at $5 a call, even if we had had to pay for 2 clicks, it'd be $5 a call. So $5 a call, the new way, the way I just showed you guys how to do, by the way. Hopefully you took good notes on that. And or you could do $76 a call the old way. Totally up to you, right? That's like 1/15th of the cost. Are you guys? It's like a fraction. It's crazy. If we did DUI attorneys, it said 67, but I've seen it fluctuate between 60 and 70 bucks. So 71 bucks a call. Again, let's say it takes you only 4 clicks to get a phone call off of those regular pay-per-click clicks, and that's going to give us $284 phone call the old way. 284 bucks. Now you know why lawyers are DUI attorneys and other types of attorneys even are willing to pay huge dollars because they know it costs money to get a good lead, right? Versus the new way of $5 a call. Are you guys getting it yet? Hopefully you guys are getting it. By the way, I want to share this with you. You can do this with customers or clients, whatever you want to call them, or without, or with both. You can do it one of 3 ways. You can do with, without, or with both. Totally up to you, okay? And I'll show you guys how we do that when we talk about how much money we can make. All right, so let's talk about that. How much money can we make? So I went and looked up pest control leads just for fun, and I know that sounds like, oh, just for fun. No, I really do enjoy this stuff because I find stuff like this where this guy's selling leads that are not even phone calls. They're email, SMS leads. That's crazy, right? 20 bucks a lead. Everybody see that? Let me get something to drink there. Goodness. Okay. 20 bucks a lead, and it's not even a live phone call. And the margins on pest control, depending on the type of service, like bed bugs or termites, it's several $1,000s and several hundred a month. Okay, that's not a joke of a service. It's awesome. So let's do some math real quick. Let's say we undercut our competition and we charge $15 per live call. So if we did 10 calls a day at 15 bucks, we'd have 150 bucks. We know our cost is going to be worst case, by the way, $5 a call. We know we're going to be using call only ads, so that means 50 bucks for the calls, right? 150 minus 50, that's $100 each and every day from just one client. By the way, one client can take way more than 10 calls a day if they've got several techs, like in the pest control industry. They can handle this in their sleep. Okay, so really these numbers are extremely low for what you could actually do. But here's the cool thing: $100 a day, even at that low number, that's $3 grand a month for one client, right? Oh yeah, by the way, let me let the slides thing die down here. At 10 clients, that's 30 grand a month. 10 clients, that's it, right? And no, you don't have to have clients, but it's pretty profitable, wouldn't you agree? Pretty profitable thing to do. So we've done the math here. Let's go through this slide. Here we go. And now I want to take you to show you some live account views. So I told you, Anthony said that I had made some promises to show you guys some real numbers and some other people kicking some booty with this thing too. But I want to show you guys some numbers of my own, if that's okay with you guys. So I'm going to go back into the campaign here, the campaign screen. You can see here my dates are January 24th to the 21st, almost a month, right around. And what I want to do is I want to everyone, if you can see this number, type this into the chat box. Just want to show you guys some numbers here and how awesome this can be, just with a little bit of work. 3469. Almost, somebody almost had it. It was 3465. It's actually $3,469. And then the number here under the phone calls tab. Everybody see that? Everybody put that number in the chat box for me. Tell me what number you see there. That's right, 637. Okay, so let's come back and do some math. So that was about a month's worth of work, right? So let's do present. And oh yeah, keyboard feedback time. I should have got you guys all excited to see my back office of my one of my AdWords accounts. So let's do the math here real quick. Pest control week, right? It's actually pest control month. We spent $3,469. Okay, sounds like a lot. It's like, holy crap, do I have to spend that much? No, absolutely not. I've seen people start as low as $10, $20 a day. Okay, you do not have to spend crazy amounts of money. I just want to show you what happens when you do, if that's okay with you. 637 calls were driven, and at $20 a lead, so $15 a lead is actually a very low number. $20 a lead is the sweet spot here for pest control. And so 637 calls at $20 a lead, you guys can do the math, $12,740 minus the spend of $3,469. That number no longer looks big, does it? That number looks like very small numbers, right? And that leaves us with $9,271 of profit, and that's in just under 30 days and only a couple of cities, okay? And that's what we like to call nice and easy. That's what we call nice and easy. Also, oh, nope, that was it. Okay, so that was the slide. Let me back up here. What's happening to my slides? Goodness. Okay, so I want to show you guys the ugly side. I kind of already showed it to you, but you didn't get a good look at it. You didn't know what you were looking at. So 1,124. It's actually I forgot to update this slide. It's actually over, what was that? $9,000 is what we did, right? 9,271. So $9,271 in just around 30 days. These numbers have been updated. But our ugly website, so here's what the website looks like. And please try not to laugh too hard at the website. I know it's really, really ugly, but you know what? It's because no one has to see the website. That's the beautiful part about it. We only build it for Google's relevance calculations when it comes to our ads, right? Our ad campaigns. And so that's our ugly website. Okay, let's talk about how you get paid. Okay, this is important stuff. So there's the easiest way that we know possible is what we call the pay-per-call affiliate offers, and there are thousands to choose from. They're totally easy to set up. There's no client or acquisition or management involved, which means obviously you're going to get paid without the hassles of dealing with customer service. And then again, you can focus on growing the business rather than managing those clients, right? So you've got clients you can get, or you can do affiliate offers, right? The pay-per-call affiliate offers. And here's a couple of screenshots that show you lots of different affiliate offers here for pay-per-call. There's carpets and flooring, drug addiction treatment, blind window treatments here, Dish Network, ADT Security, so a lot of alarm companies. And here's even more affiliate verticals that you can tap into, like handyman, chiropractors, lawyers. You've got what else do you have here? Tax debt. You've got education. Another drug rehab, right? Lots and lots of gutter services. The list just goes on and on and on. There's so many of them. So that is the easiest way we know how to get you paid. Okay. Now this is a bonus lesson of how to double your profits with what we call the 20-minute workweek software. And I'm going to tell you a story about Marlon the Money Man. This is totally optional, by the way. This bonus lesson, you can go affiliate offers and make money all day long, or totally optional, you can do what Marlon the Money Man does and make what Marlon the Money Man makes, okay, or something up there like that. And so let me introduce you to Marlon the Money Man. Here's a couple of screenshots you can see where Marlon's collected money from clients. Okay, the other way obviously would be having local clients take your live phone calls. And with those three screenshots, you can see that's a total of somewhere in the neighborhood of $21,700 for, I think this was the month of I want to say January. It might be December or January, one of the two. But very, very recent results from one of our students. And here is his back office of this software that you guys. Here's what's funny. We've actually transitioned this software to where you guys don't even have to use the software anymore. We use it for you. It's a done-for-you service, okay? So you no longer have to do the 20 minutes of work every week. So nice and easy just became nicer and easier, okay? But I'm still going to show you this anyway because it's pretty cool. You get monthly success reports where you can actually track your conversions and everything. So this is how this whole software works, where we can actually increase we can actually increase your conversions, while at the same time you can see decrease significantly the cost per lead. So this was the cost per lead, that now this is the cost per lead. It's way lower. These were the conversions, and now these are the conversions, way higher. And so you can see at $30 a call, which is what Marlon's charging, he was at $15 profit per call. But as time went on over those 90 days, from optimizing and implementing what he learned, he was able to charge drop his cost down to $5 a call and charge 25 or make $25 profit a call, which is just insane numbers from what he was doing. And here's how he did it. He used that 20-minute workweek software, which again, you guys are going to get the done for you version of that. And number two, he followed our strategy. Those are the big things. And this is Marlon. So those were the 90 days that he and I worked together on this stuff, and implementing these changes in his campaign. He took 2 weeks off solid to Jamaica. And this is him in Jamaica. There he is with this girl, hanging out, having a good time. This is, I mean, that's some cool stuff. Like where you can hang out for 2 weeks out of the 90 days of like going after it, because a lot of this is so plug and play, and it only becomes more plug and play every day. So the question then, if that sounds awesome, which it should, why aren't more people doing this? You're probably already asking yourself that, and if you're not, you probably are now. And I'll tell you a few reasons why, that I know of. The main reasons why. It's because without software like that or a done-for-you service, it takes work. And we're talking 40 plus hours, okay? It's not easy work either. The second thing is that some software like this normally runs $279 a month. And that sounds like a made-up number, but I can tell you right now that it's not. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. Let me come out of here. I'm going to go to WordStream. This is the software we use. We do a done-for-you service using WordStream, okay? So we'll be able to tap all your campaigns into WordStream. Look at this, WordStream pricing. Everybody see I'm on there, right? I'm just going to pricing, scroll down, take a look at their pricing. The lowest you can get it at is if you pay all up front, $2,800 basically, for $229 a month, right? But most of you are going to be able to do like $280 a month, okay? So I wasn't kidding when I said $297 a month. Like, that is a big reason why most people don't use this, okay? Or don't do this. If it's so easy, why is everybody doing it? That's one of the reasons why. It's a high barrier of price entry, right? High price barrier. Number three, not only do you have to pay for software and have that done, you've got to have it managed. Right? You've got to have someone who knows what they're doing make all those right moves, or it's got to be you, right? And that can get very, very expensive when you do that. So the good news is you don't even have to do the 20 minutes anymore. So super simple. Again, it's even simpler, right? You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on software. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later, about that done-for-you service that we've got that you guys are going to get access to. It's pretty cool stuff. The software that we're using in the done for you breaks it down in simple point and click tasks. It's impossible to screw it up, okay? And by the way, it's based on over 1 million users, and it takes 40 hours of over 40 hours worth of your pay-per-click campaigns analysis or your pay-per-call, and analyzes it in 60 seconds or less, right? They've managed over $9 billion in online advertising spend, 9 billion with a B. That's awesome. That's crazy cool stuff to have access to. And so here's some screenshots where you can see where our people in the back office, they do the done for you side of this. So you would never see this, but this is what it looks like, where they tap into all your profitable keywords. Here you can see a campaign that's being targeted on roofing versus having to do it manually the hard way and actually punching in these negative keywords, right? I mean, keywords you don't want to show up for your ads. You can see new keyword ideas, right? Keywords that are gonna make more money versus manually having to look and figure it out, right? You actually have to use your noggin on this one, where the software just tells you, hey, this is where the money's at right here. Optimizing bids versus the hard way. You actually have to crunch the numbers, right, on the campaign. Like, totally difficult. This totally takes all the hard work out of it, and if it's done for you on top of it, then you can rest easy knowing that your campaign is managed as good as the Fortune 500 companies, okay? Because a lot of big companies use services like WordStream to manage their campaigns and their ad spend. So and optimize. So when you see all these different optimized ads, optimized bids versus coming in here doing it manually the hard way, this not only saves you time because you're doing the done for you, but it saves us time too, right? And if we save time, guess what that means for you? The faster it is to implement for you, the more money you're going to make because the changes have been implemented almost instantaneously versus 40 to 60 hours of waiting every week, right? That's the cool part about it. So again, all this hard way stuff, totally out the window. It's nice and easy point and click posting changes versus having to come in here to the to the actual ad platform and do all these changes yourself. It just gets crazy. So here's the question based on what you just saw. Which would you want to drive? The Lambo up top or the one at the bottom? Put top or bottom in the chat box. Let me see what you guys got. See if you guys are still with me. The bottom, right? Very clearly the bottom. Why? Is it because it has wheels? Right? Yeah, probably, right? Okay. So, actually, this is a loaded question, trick question. So here's the trick that I played on you guys. Sorry, I had to. The difference between having let me go back here to this slide really quick. The difference between having no software, this is what this car represents, right? No software. This is the software, but you're in the driver's seat, right? By the way, would you want to drive a Lambo to and from work every day? No, it's not a daily driver, okay? It might sound glamorous for like about the first 5 days, okay? And then after that, your ass is going to get tired of having to deal with a very, very high maintenance, finely tuned machine, no doubt, but again, you're still the one in the driver's seat, right? Versus this option, right, which is where you put us in the driver's seat with a proven done for you software solution, and it's taken care of, right? So you can literally hop in the back of the rolls and enjoy the ride to work, right? And this is a hell of a daily driver, by the way, because you don't have to be the one behind the wheel. This guy's going to be behind the wheel. And so that's us. We're opening the door for you saying, hey, hop in, take care of everything else. We'll take care of this for you, and we'll get you there pretty quick. Because Rolls-Royces, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but they pack a pretty good punch. They don't have a V12 necessarily, but they pack a pretty good punch. They got a lot of good horsepower, so they're not slow cars. Let's just say that. So with that being said, I want to share with you guys how you can double your profits. Anybody want to double your profits? Anybody in here want to double their profits? I'm sure you do. Okay. Just I hate asking that question, but I have to because it really, some people say, well, what do I got to do to double profits? Because what if it takes like 3 times the amount of work to double profits? Then it doesn't make sense, right? So doubling profits. So here's the deal. It's so simple. All you have to do is remove the middleman, the affiliates. So we have those 2 ways of getting paid, right? The affiliate offers. If you remove that and deliver the leads directly to offline businesses, you double your profit. Actually, very conservatively double your profits. You actually make 3, 4, 5 times your money, but at least double, okay, out of the gate. And so just with that one change, and I can hear you, you might be saying, I don't want to cold call anybody. I don't want to talk to people that are going to hang up on me or yell at me or curse at me, right? And that's okay. You know why? Because we have a system in place that it works 100% of the time, by the way. Whenever a client needs or wants leads, a potential client wants or needs leads that you have to sell them, if they need or want them, 100% of the time, this it's not software. This process works. Okay, so step one, the prospect would call. So you would have, for example, let's say you were doing the pest control example, right? You would have a prospect call in, and they need help with termites or bed bugs or something. And so a USA trained and based, by the way, trained and based operator would answer the call, collect those details, and then forward those off to a local business that you gave them in a list that you want to work with. Okay, so they forward that call over, that lead over with all that information, and then they tell them, they tell the potential client, hey, we're going to be checking in on this customer, making sure that you took care of them. Okay, and then they're going to repeat this entire process again, giving them a second free lead. Okay, so they go back through the entire process again, and then when they've given the second free lead, they're going to ask in step 5 down there, they're going to ask if the customer would like to receive daily leads for a set price per lead, And again, 100% of the time, the contractor is going to be very eager to learn more because they see the quality of the lead, right? And the operator actually lets them know how to get a hold of you and also hits you up and tells you, hey, this person expressed interest, you might want to give them a call, okay, and puts you two together. So that way, when you get on the phone, you've already delivered leads. They already know the value of what you have. All they need to know is how much and where or how to make the payment. That's it. You're an order taker. Okay, and order taking over the phone is super, super easy. You're not selling, you're no longer selling. So we call this our client 100% success rate strategy. Again, just to go through this really quickly, the prospect calls, the USA trained and based operator, actually they're based, I want to say, I think it's Utah. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Utah. So USA trained and based person's actually going to answer the phone, grab all the details from that potential customer, and forward those on to the local contractor and then give them that lead. And then they follow up with the lead, making sure that that lead was taken care of. And then they repeat that process again. And once they've given that second lead for free, they say, hey, would you like to receive daily leads like this for a set price per lead? And again, 100% of the time, the contractor is going to be very eager to learn how to do that and do business with you. There's a quick recap of that process again, what that looks like. I got to ask in the chat box, tell me, put in a number in, what do you think it costs for our USA trained and based operators to answer the phone call? I'm just curious. What's it cost? Does anybody have an answer? Let's see what you guys got. 50 bucks, okay. Question mark. Question mark is not a valid answer. $10 an hour, $500 a month. $10 an hour. A couple of you guys said $10 an hour. Three of you said $10 an hour. Okay, cool. So $10 an hour. Not sure how that would work out. How does this sound? How about a $1.50 flat rate per call? That's pretty awesome, and let me tell you why. That's awesome for if you were to hire someone from the Philippines. Awesome. Okay, these are not Filipino people. Nothing against the Filipino people, by the way. I'm just saying in terms of outsourcing, this is not that. These are people that are based, they live physically and speak English, native English, and live physically in the United States, okay? And it's a $1.50 flat rate. So if the call is 30 seconds, if the call is 30 minutes, it doesn't matter. It's $1.50, okay? Pretty cool stuff, right? Pretty exciting to take a call in like that. So how much do you think it costs our USA trained and based operators to make outbound sales calls? Put a number in the chat box. What do you think? What do you guys think? So it costs $1.50 to take a call in. You know outbound costs a little bit more. What do you guys think outbound costs? $3, okay. $3, $3.75. I see. $7 a call, okay. Okay, pretty. $2 a call, okay. Pretty good answers. How about $1.75? 15 an hour, somebody says. $2.25. No, $1.75. It's $1.75, right? Pretty cool stuff, right? Pretty cool stuff. So just a handful of those calls. Obviously, you should be excited. Let me see some keyboard feedback on that because that's awesome. When you can double your profits and all you have to do is remove the middleman and you don't even have to be the one to do it. You know what I mean? You don't have to be the guy on the phone or the gal on the phone. You just take an order at the end of the day, right? That's easy. Super exciting stuff. So that's not all though, right? You can't stop there. I mean, let's say you've got clients, right? Or let's say you want clients. Maybe you don't want to do any affiliate marketing, and that's fine. Totally, whichever way you want to go, it's okay with us. But the difference between $1,000 and $10,000 a month client, a lot of people ask us, how do you do that? Because it's one thing to pull a client in and pull them in at $1,000, $2,000 a month, but it's a whole other to get them into the five-figure range and actually grow a client into the five-figure range, right? One that may not have started or may never have started in the five-figure range with anyone, but you were able to help them grow through the quality of leads you're providing, and you grow to $10,000 a month. So here's the bottom line. If you don't have a way to retain your clients, then you're losing out big time, okay? Because the costs to get a client are way more expensive versus retaining one. Everybody knows this, right? And the thing is, we only have 24 hours in a day, and if we have to spend all that time making them all happy, that's there goes all our time, right? So we've got to find a way to retain, be more efficient, and increase our clients' lifetime value from 1,000 a month to 10,000 a month. How in the hell do we do that? Well, let me show you guys some numbers here just to show you what retention looks like. You guys might have heard retention, but let me show you the power of it. If you were to just increase your retention by 5%, that's it. You can see as much as 25 to 95% increase in profit just by that 5% retention, because that's how much less it costs to keep a client than it does to get a new one. Everybody follow? Okay, so here's another important point, and I've got some sources for these stats here too at the end. 76% of companies that 76% of companies see a client lifetime value, or a CLV, in other words, how much a client is worth to them over the life of their organization, as important. They understand it's an important concept, right? I'm surprised it's only 76%. It should be 100%, but we'll go with 76%. That was on the survey. Here's the kicker, though. Only 42% of those companies are able to even calculate what the CLV is. How much? You guys get that? Less than half of the companies can even calculate how much a client is worth to them. It's a little bit like fishing in the dark, isn't it? Right? Hope you don't get hooked. I mean, by your own hook. I mean, that's crazy. And there's our sources there for those numbers. And the big question is why, right? And maybe more specifically, why do so many businesses let retention, also known as the easy money, by the way, fall through the cracks, right? Why? And I'll tell you why. It's because they don't have an automated system for it. It's just not automated. It's not nice and easy enough. It's what we call nice and easy. So we understand the concept that once you have the clients, you've got to keep them, right? I want to show you the automated 90-day client manager sequence that we have that's plug and play. Okay, this is what we call the nice and easy style. We love saying nice and easy if it's nice and easy. So here's the deal. We have built a 90-day autoresponder sequence that goes out. It's copy paste. You just fill in the blanks, punch it in, and you're good to go. 13 client education videos. So we educate our clients. Okay. Does this seem like a system? This is how you take your business and turn it into a McDonald's system, right? And all these videos and emails, by the way, are designed to welcome on board your new client, educate them on how to do better business with you, and retain them and upsell them. By the way, there's 2 upsells inside this 90-day sequence. It's crazy because that's what takes you from that $1,000 a month to that $10,000 a month. Okay, that's how you do it. And by the way, it's all automated, right? So you don't have to worry about that anymore. So client on board, obviously, client onboarding, that's very important. Customer retention, even more important. Keeping them once you've gotten them on board. But automating all that, this obviously you can see like where we have the software. We used to have the software. Now we've got the done for you software service, right? You don't even have to do anything. We've got a plug and play retention and upselling autoresponder sequence with training videos, everything to the nines, right? All doing the heavy lifting for you so you can do more faster. You guys follow this? So put a 1 in the chat box if that's exciting to you. Or keyboard feedback, totally cool. Like, I know this is a different kind of keyboard, but I thought it was kind of funny, the cat playing the keyboard there. Cool, okay, you guys are excited. So you guys should be excited about how really easy this is, right? I want to point out one more thing. I've said it a few times. I want to say it again just to make sure everybody's hearing me okay. If you don't want clients, it's okay. You don't have to have them. It's 100% optional, okay? I'm just showing you guys what's possible either way you go, or if you choose to go both ways with it, it's totally okay with me, okay? So let's meet some ordinary people that are totally kicking some major booty with this process, okay? I want to tell you that there's more people making things happen because this is so simple, right? We've gone over some stuff and you're like, holy crap, that's a lot of stuff. Actually, you know what? It's all plug and play. And it's so simple. I'm not kidding when I say that even your grandpa can do it, because I want to introduce you to Grandpa Bill, okay? Grandpa Bill, 63 years old, okay? Full-time tech at like, oh my goodness, he works like crazy hours too. He's like a tech at, I want to say like Cisco or something like one of those. He's a huge IT guy, but he's like on the engineering side or something like that. Like he does like crazy work, and he's 63 years old, and he still has the time to be able to do this, okay? And this is his first day out. First day out, not too shabby, I would agree. Bill, Bill totally killed it. Gurpal, I'll remind you, Gurpal's first couple of days out, making huge money there, over day after day, and it's only increased. Jesse, we talked about Jesse where he pulled in a $15,000 contract, $5,000 deposit. He's making 500 bucks a lead, okay, and he's pulling in multiple clients. Here's a guy who pulled in his first $500 before he even got up and running. A lot of you might be wondering, well, crap, how much I got to spend before I get up and running? Nothing. Go get a client first if you want, right? It's totally up to you, right? You can work this however you want to work it, whatever is comfortable for you, whatever works for your budget. Gorick, you guys might be, this guy's from Belgium, by the way, coming out to Vegas here next week. I'm excited to hang with him and get some work done with a bunch of other people too. But he drove 45 leads, could be a profit of $1,045, right? When he transfers over or switches over to local clients. He was running affiliate offers first. But look at his expense. Everybody see that? He spent 80 bucks. So do you have to spend tens of thousands of dollars? No, absolutely not. You can spend lower amounts, much, much lower amounts if you want. Okay. Here's a good one, $327 earned in commission. This was his first 4 days out of the gate, 125 calls in 15 minutes in. How fast? You guys might be wondering how fast or how long this is going to take you. 15 minutes after after Teddy went live, he had 2 clicks, made 11 bucks, spent $1.54. You guys seeing? You don't have to spend tons and tons of money to make money. You guys got it? I love how he says, this is one of my favorites too. He can see how this shit's going to be addictive. I agree, man. It really is addictive when you can help people. When you can help people and connect, be the connector between someone who has a really big problem and someone who has a really big solution, and you're the connector to put those people together and you make money doing that, that's good karma, business karma 101. Like you cannot wake up unsatisfied with your job or what you do for a living when you do that kind of thing on a daily basis. And let's not forget Marlon the Money Man, right? 21,700 bucks January or December, I can't remember which month, but yeah. Brian Peterson, 6 to 7 hours active, spent $12.34, already $16 in profit, just in testing. Just testing stuff out. Pretty cool. He's from Denmark, by the way. The Dart Brothers, $1.21 per call, 16 calls. They actually drove several hundred calls over the next few days with this same campaign. I do remember that. David, 3-to-1 return, charging $15 a lead, $22.49 profit per call. Already 3 times more profitable. I mean, and again, you know, this shit works. Like people get when you see people cursing, by the way, you know it's working. It's either working or someone's really angry, right? And when someone says this shit works, does that mean it works okay or kind of works? No, that means it's like phenomenal, right? So whenever you see somebody cursing or expletives based on someone's success, you know it's pretty awesome, right? That's a good rule of thumb I live by. Okay, so I promised you guys. Actually, I don't know if I told you guys I was going to do an extensive Q&A, but I'll tell you now. I like to go through. I know we covered a lot. Hopefully, you guys and gals' heads not spinning. And if it is, it's okay. We'll figure something out. Maybe we can do an encore or something. But I will tell you this: we will do an extensive Q&A here. And before we do that, I want to ask you, how many of you put a 1 in the chat box if you are excited to start your first nice and easy and profitable AdWords pay-per-call campaign? Let me see some 1s in the box. Yeah, I kind of figured you guys would be excited. I'm excited too because this is, again, this is what I get to wake up and do every day. Isn't that awesome? I get to help you guys. Keyboard feedback time. You guys are already blowing up the keyboard. Cool. We want to help you. I say we as in Chris and I, the Kallzu team, the entire Kallzu team actually. It's more than just Chris and I. There's pretty extensive back office and support, no doubt. So we want to help you grow your pay-per-call business, okay? And I'm talking about step-by-step training on exactly how to set up your first campaign. Totally newbie friendly. You guys got a really, really good taste of what that looks like. Um, and if it's recorded, obviously you'll be able to play it back as many times as you want and go through it at your pace, right? But we also are going to give you guys access to real-time AdWords pay-per-call case studies. That's very important. I showed you guys some live stuff that we were doing over just the last few days, the last month or so. We do that on purpose. We have a very, very active Facebook group, which I can show you a little bit later. Active is an understatement. It should say something like the Facebook group where people post their wins and tools and resources and all kinds of other cool shit. Like, this Facebook group is nuts, guys. I'll show you this a little bit later because I'm very proud of it. Really tight-knit group of people that are just doing phenomenal things. And then on top of that, what if you had us helping you review your vertical, or review your keywords and your ad copy and your campaign setup, and we actually help you optimize your campaign and then help you scale that into I went too far. Help you scale that into multiple cities to run, right? What if we were able to help you do that and help you with a review process to make sure at each critical stage you have exactly what you need to have to produce the results? You guys are probably wondering how all these people are getting these kind of results. The reason is because of these things, because of the active case studies, the Facebook group. You've got the review processes that we have in place, that our support, by the way, I mean, our support is phenomenal. I'll show you that too a little bit later and how we handle that. But I want to go into the 15 ways that we're going to personally ensure your success, which is going to make it impossible for you to fail. Okay. Number one, you're going to get access to all of our ongoing live case studies. Pest control is one of them. We've got a few others with a few of our members, and more on the way. And so you're going to get access to all of those. You get 2 live coaching calls per month. Every month on the 14th and the 28th is when we do those live calls, and those usually are 2 hours plus, not with filler or space or anything, and there's no promotions on those. Only thing we cover is campaign setups, keyword strategy, everything you need, scaling out. How do we hire out people to take over some of this stuff for us? Everything you need is covered in those calls. We do the affiliate offer, or the niche selection or vertical selection review. So we help you point you in the right direction with an affiliate offer, as well as what verticals are going to be the most profitable for you and what to look out for. We're going to review all of your ad copy. That's how awesome that is, right? Once we review all your ad copy, you're going to need your keyword list reviewed. This is the 80% of the heavy lifting right here. You've got to have a good keyword list. If you have a great keyword list, you're going to do very, very well. And so this is a big stage where some people hit roadblocks, and we want to make sure that you're covered. We also want to make sure before you hit the live button that your campaign setup is correct. So we have a campaign setup review. We don't want you spending money on anything without making sure it's at 100% going where it needs to, right? That it's as efficient as possible. And then we've got a website page built out. So once you've got converting keywords, you're going to give us some content, some images, and we'll build out 10 pages for you on the keywords that you've targeted that are making you money, right? You can obviously build these out yourself. I mean, you saw how simple and ugly that page looked. I mean, it's not very difficult at all to make that page. A 6-year-old can make that page, no doubt. In today's world, 6-year-olds are like WordPress geniuses or something. It's crazy. Campaign optimization reviews. So we do an optimization review on your campaign. We show you how to dial things in so that your campaign is more profitable, becomes more profitable over time as well. And then we teach you how to scale that out, because once things are dialed in and you're profitable, or very, very profitable, it's time to scale out so that you can make more of those profits, right? That's how we do that. So we've got scale review requests as well. And then we've got the transition from affiliate offers to local clients. This is a big one. So I've talked to you guys several times about how you can do affiliate offers, or you can do local clients, or you can do both. Or you can do this. You can transition from starting out with affiliate offers and transition into local clients. Actually, one of our case studies is doing that with the pest control. We started out affiliate offer, and we're going to local client. And so going local client is going to be a pretty awesome process to have documented, and we're going to be able to help you do that as well, okay? Number 11, we've got 2 live workshops we do a year. Kallzu does 2 main live workshops a year. There's also some workshops that aren't considered the main ones, if you will. For example, we've got one coming up in Las Vegas next week, where we've got a few people. I say a few, it's like 17 people or so coming out to the house. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit down and do all of this start to finish on the local client side. So everybody that's coming out is wanting to go and get local clients. And the cool part is we're not just setting stuff up. Okay, we're duplicating campaigns out that are already driving a profit into multiple areas. And then day 2 and day 3, because it's a 3-day thing that we're doing, we're going to get on the phone with the people who have reached back out to us. So we're not going to cold call anybody. We're only going to pick up the phone and talk to the people who want to hear more about our leads, plain and simple. And we're going to close clients. And so people, we've already done this a couple times. People walk away from these things with clients in hand. Okay, they go home with client lifetime value wise. They go home with, goodness grief, a lot of money, like tens of thousands of dollars in their hands over the course of that client's life, maybe even more than that, depending on their vertical. So we do 2 live workshops per year outside of stuff like that. Our next one, our main live one, is in Thailand this year. We're doing another one in the fall. I'm not sure where, but we're heading to Thailand at like the middle to end of April, basically. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Number 12, we've got the 20-minute workweek software, that $279 a month you saw from WordStream. You're not even going to have to touch it. You're not even going to have to touch it, folks. We do that for you, okay? Number 13, you've got an entire AdWords training course that's designed around pay-per-call, and that's very important because it's not the same as pay-per-click. It's totally different. It's different school of thought, different strategy. Everything is different about it, and so we walk you through a nice little 5 to 8 minute chunk, what I call them chunks of information or videos. If you just, here's my advice: take one video, watch it, do it. Video 2, watch it, do it. If you do that, if you did only one of those or 2 of those a day, you'd be sitting really, really pretty after 30, 60, 90 days, no doubt in my mind. I've already seen people do that. Number 14, we've got a proprietary method for getting clients hands-free, which works 100% of the time. You guys saw that, the $1.75, $1.50, where we've got that USA trained and based operator that handles all that stuff for you. We've got that method. Okay, we're going to give that to you, right? 15, our client engagement sequence. This is a big one, right? This is where you take your client from 1,000 to 10,000 a month. Okay, that's the big deal, and it's all automated. It's all white labeled for you to plug into your existing business if you have it. And so, how much, if we added all this stuff up, how much is this really worth? I mean, you guys know how I do with numbers, right? I'm very conservative on the numbers, and so if it actually costs 500, I might say it'll cost 200. Right? I do that on purpose because I'm not trying to blow numbers up, if you will. Like if you look, you can see the 20-minute workweek software, $279 a month. I wasn't kidding when I said that. Website page build out. Good luck finding somebody that'll build you a web page for, you know, $400 the way you need it, and to get it exactly the way you need it, right? Campaign setup reviews, any of those review processes, you're going to pay high dollar because you're going to have to find an AdWords professional. Oh, and by the way, this AdWords professional has to have direct experience in the pay-per-call or the call-only side, right? Do you know how many times I've talked to Google support or talked to people who are AdWords certified or this and that, and it's like, call-only what? That's what I get. I get that almost all the time. I'm trying to think if I've had someone that's been on a conversation with me that says, I take that back. I had one guy that I was on the phone with, was talking to him about call only, and he said, yeah, I'm aware of call only ads. And I said, aware as in you've used them? And he goes, no. I was like, okay, just making sure, because I almost got my hopes up thinking I found somebody who I could talk to about call only ads a little bit, but I didn't. So here's the deal. All this stuff, you can see live workshops, guys, 2-3 day workshops in Thailand, $1,000. Man, that's easily 2-3 grand. To come out to Vegas, it was $1,500. I mean, guys, $1,000. We're totally lowballing everything on here. An engagement sequence, a 90-day engagement sequence with 13 plus client education videos, all white labeled with white label rights for you to use. Okay, by the way, those videos were created by yours truly. Okay, I created those, so it's not like we went and got those somewhere. I made them. They're specific to what we do, and so everything is very systemized, if you will. But to build a sequence like that, you're looking probably 10, 15 grand. I'm not kidding. Okay, and we price it at 5 grand, just to give you guys an idea of like stupid low numbers of what this would cost. If you added all of this up, you'd be looking at like 12 grand, probably a lot more than that, a hell of a lot more than that up front. And not only that up front, but you'd probably be paying around 2 grand a month, right? Put a one in the chat box if everybody kind of sees that math. Do you guys agree with that math? You guys think that math is pretty solid? I went over the numbers several times. I feel like those numbers are extremely solid. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of scary how solid those numbers are, right? Because they're freaking huge, right? So here's the deal. Our price, what we normally charge, by the way, you're not going to pay this, okay? I'm just letting you guys know where we stand. What we normally do is 4 grand up front. Basically, it's 4 grand up front and 600 a month. That's normally what we do. That's not what you're going to be taking a look at here today, okay? I want to tell you before I tell you what you are going to be looking at. I want to tell you something, a little story called the GoDaddy flaw. Anybody heard of the GoDaddy flaw? No? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nobody's heard. Okay. So the GoDaddy flaw. The GoDaddy flaw is everybody buys domains, right? When you let a domain expire, GoDaddy now, and it goes into that grace period, GoDaddy now has you by the balls, or lady balls, if there's ladies on, I'm sure there are. And when they have you in that precarious situation, they can charge whatever they want to release you, right? So now a $10 a year domain or less becomes worth to them $100, all because of what? The flaw. The flaw is your hesitation. You hesitated to put it on auto renew, or you hesitated to take care of renewing the domain when the email came across your desk, right? Or when your calendar your calendar notification on your phone came up to do it. That is the GoDaddy flaw. It's a classic mistake of hesitation. And so I want to point this out to you. Just for that 20-minute workweek software, if you were to go and get it yourself, okay, again, drive the Lamborghini yourself, you're looking at $280 a month, right? I mean, yes, it's awesome. It is a Lamborghini. It's $9 billion in advertising spend based on that knowledge. 40 hours of pay-per-call and pay-per-click analysis in 60 seconds or less. Over 1 million users. They know what they're doing, right? But again, with that flaw, if you hesitate, right, you're going to end up paying that kind of money up front. But even with us not charging you what we were going to, right, which is the 4 grand up front and 600 a month, here's what we decided to do. We wanted to do a 90% discount today, and this is today only, by the way. Okay, this is one of the reasons why we wanted you to stick around and learn some things and see if this is going to be the thing that takes your business to that next level. And so what we decided to do was at $397 and $47 a month. And the reason we chose to do that, actually there's several reasons, but I'll tell you the main one. The main reason we chose to do that is because we believe that it's imperative for you to succeed. And at 12 grand a month, you can succeed. By the way, there's the link, folks. Anthony, can you mind tossing that link in the chat box while I tell them the main reason here? So the main reason we're doing this price is because we want to see you succeed. And we know that, by the way, with our we've got over 500 members now already, but with our existing members that are already succeeding, there's a huge number of them, by the way, out of that 500. They have given back so much, and it's just become larger than life. I don't know how else to say it, really. I can show you examples of what I'm talking about with the Facebook group. It's one thing to say, oh, you get access to a Facebook group. Yeah, everybody and their brother tells you that, but wait till you see this, right? That's what I want to do. So actually, I'm going to do that really quick while I can. Anthony, we're going to do some Q&A here in just a second, and I'm going to stay on as long as it takes to make sure everyone's questions are answered. But there's the link, learn.kallzu.com/AWDivine, D-E-V-I-N-E. For those of you some of you might even be listening in via the phone. If you are, I wish you could have seen some of the screenshots. But before we do that, I want to show you guys some cool stuff here, if that's okay. I'm going to come over to Facebook. Goodness, I'm blowing up over here. Okay, people asking me about Vegas. That's funny. All right. So here's the Kallzu Ads coaching group. Okay. You can see we post our coaching calls at the top, the direct link to get it to go there. Something I wanted to show you. Here's a post. This was 10 hours ago. Everybody see this 10 hours ago? Here's a comment. Here's what I want to show you guys. He goes, hey, I'm new here. Anybody want to go through this material together? This guy, Martin, says, yesterday was $172 profit. Got to scale it now. Training is excellent. I'm a great teacher, really easy to understand, follow his techniques. You see, like, this is, I haven't even commented or liked this yet or said anything because it's too new. All right, I just found this right before we came onto the webinar. I always looking through the group and see what everybody's into. Look here, here's Paul sharing a an alternative to the Google Keyword Planner, excuse me. Pretty cool stuff. Always constantly sharing stuff like that in here, talking about what to do here and there. Let's see here. There's another one in here that was a good one. Oh, here it is, James Diamond. So you saw that post about James Diamond. That was on February 20th. That was literally, what is today? Today's the 23rd? 23rd. And this was on the 20th. So 3 days ago, that post was made. You can see here where I got that screenshot from, everything, right? And I was giving him a hard time, telling him screenshots or it didn't happen, you know, giving him a hard time there. But yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that's in the Facebook group. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Man, I'm blowing up over here, huh? I'm famous. So another thing, I told you guys support, right? So this is our back office of Zendesk. This is our last 30 days. I want you guys to see our ticket volume. We don't play around, okay? We don't play around. By the way, does everybody see the average first reply time? Yeah, that's right. It's under 7 hours. We say give us 24 to 48 usually, but it's under 7 hours, okay? We don't play around. And again, we've got a really great support staff, and actually the whole Kallzu team is just phenomenal. But that's another story. I don't want to drag that out. I do want to get to your guys' questions and Q&A there, questions and answers. So let's go back to the slides here, and I got a few common questions, so I'll run through those, and then we'll field some that are coming in from the chat box, if that's okay. So one big question that we get is, how much do you need to spend on AdWords before you can make a profit? Again, I've pointed out you can spend as much or as little as you like. It's totally up to you. You can actually get money from clients before you even start your campaigns. We've had several people become very successful doing that just out of the gate, using clients' money to or other people's money, right? OPP, right? So other people's money, or OPM, excuse me, other people's money to make money with, right? The next question, let's see what we got here. There's Bill Robertson. How easy or simple is this really? That's why he's up here. It's because it's so easier that your grandpa could do it. You can do it if you're working a union worker 12 to 16-hour shifts. You can do this, okay? It's not a joke, right? Teddy's making some money with that. How soon can you make money with this? 15 minutes in on his campaign, 2 clicks. Okay, he was in profit. You can make money pretty freaking quick with this thing. Let's see here. What are the best types of verticals for AdWords pay-per-call? I went too far. What happened? There we go. The best types of verticals for AdWords pay-per-call. I'll tell you guys right now, there's a lot. There's a lot of them. The ones I recommend the most are home services. So anything like pest control or oh goodness, window treatments. There's carpet and flooring. There's all kinds of offers that you can pick from. But things that have to do with home services tend to do very, very well, or anything that has urgency built into it. Anything that has urgency. Urgency being like you have a problem and it needs to be solved right now, right? Right now. Those are the best types of verticals for AdWords pay-per-call. Let's see, next question here. What if I got my AdWords account banned? If you got your AdWords account banned, actually it's pretty interesting. Since Facebook's come along and totally, well, I won't say they've dominated, but they've definitely made their mark in the ad spend world and threatened Google a little bit, or answered, I should say, Google's as Google's competition in the ad world, they Google AdWords has actually become very, not lenient, but very, let's say this, more understanding of legitimate people with legitimate accounts and legitimate problems as to why their account was turned off. Google knows they slapped the crap out of a bunch of people, and now they're kind of sorry about it. And so, what I would recommend you do if you got an account that's banned, um, don't go against their terms of service, right? Which would be go create other accounts. That's silly. You don't have to do that. Just reach out to their support, talk to them directly. I actually had an incident once where my account was turned off for like 3 weeks, and I had to call in a few times, but I got it straightened out. And the crazy thing was, is I wasn't doing everything I was doing was above board. It's just I had a campaign that I forgot about, and it kept running, and something happened with the website where the website went down, and that's that GoDaddy flaw, right? I didn't have it on auto renew, and basically I was in violation of their terms of service because I was sending ads to a website that didn't exist. And I'm like, guys, like, you're going to cancel my account for that? And they're like, yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. And they were great to work with, by the way. I mean, very understanding. So just because you have an account ban doesn't mean you can't work that out. As long as you were doing things above board and not totally shady, I think you'll be okay. So reach out to Google AdWords support for that. All right, so what countries can I do this in? Clearly, Gorik is from Belgium. We've got people all over the world: Australia, Thailand, Korea. Oh goodness, where else? The UK, all over the UK, all over Eastern Europe. Oh, not Eastern Europe. Sorry, Western Europe. A few in Eastern Europe. We've got shoot, South America. I know we've got. We've actually got people coming to Vegas. We've got people coming from Belgium. We've got people coming from the UK. We've got people coming from Brazil. People coming from all over the world just to. There's only like 17 people coming to Vegas next week. I mean, that's pretty funny to me that we have members everywhere. You can do this. You can be from anywhere. You can do this from anywhere. There is a list of certain countries that do allow call-only ads. Not every country does. But my advice is to, no matter where you're located, is to target the honeypot. And the honeypot's going to be the United States and Canada, Australia. Those are going to be your big money, right? Stick to the honeypots no matter where you're at. But you can do this from anywhere, right? All right, so Marlon the Money Man, how big can I grow this? That's a pretty good example. And you can grow it even bigger than that. An even better example of how big you can grow this would be some of those screenshots we showed from Chris's agency, right? $1 million a month, right? You can do that. That's totally within your reach in time. So let's see. We have any questions here? Oh, just the recap. What are we getting here again? So before we do that, let's Anthony, are you on? Let's start fielding some of these questions. And make sure they have that link again. Again, we are only doing this for today. Okay, it's $397 upfront and $47 a month, and that gets you access to everything, right? All those 15 ways we personally ensure your success, making it possible to fail. That is what we are about, what we do. So, Anthony, are you there?
I am here. Yes, I am.
Awesome.
First, just want to thank you very much. Excellent, excellent job there. And yeah, there was a question about. I think a couple of people apparently have had issues trying to check out. So I think probably the easiest for them to do is to contact support@kallzu.com. Is that correct?
You got it. That's exactly why we listed it. Sometimes the checkout page gets a little wonky. I think that happens when a crap ton of people are coming in. So sorry about that, folks. That's it's just part of the beast, nature of the beast, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you send a ticket in support@kallzu.com, you guys saw our support staff. They'll take care of you and pretty quickly too. So
And probably
no
that,
worries there.
try another browser, wait a couple seconds, try again. It usually works. Just try it a couple of times. That's just been my
Okay.
experience.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to that page now and take a look. And yeah, so there's the page. Good deal.
Okay. Did you want me to go through and ask the questions, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. If you don't mind,
Okay.
I think it'd be great. I've been talking so much. I feel like, guys, I'll tell you a little story before we do the questions. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. I went out karaokeing last night, so so my voice isn't, excuse me, my voice is obviously not 100%. And so, yeah, if you, Anthony, if you don't mind reading some of those questions to me, that might save me a little bit here, so I can recoup my voice tonight.
Sure, sure, no problem. I'll try to read them slow then. And just so everybody knows too, William did say tonight that this is only available to. It's only available until 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern tonight, to be even more specific. So it's a little less than 90 minutes from now. So it's not something that's going to be hanging around much longer at all. Just so everybody's fully aware. In the meantime, let me get some question. Eves asked, is this good for generating leads for an OBGYN office?
Uh, Probably not the best. I'm not saying it can't be done. It just depends on the margins. I mean, first off, OBGYN, like, I'm not going to say most of the calls aren't urgent, but I would dare say that most of the calls are checkups, right? And most people, I'd say this, not most people, most ladies that schedule an OBGYN are probably not going to pick up the phone and schedule an appointment with an OBGYN based off of an ad. Uh, Most ladies do referrals, or they go through their insurance providers to find a list of doctors, that kind of a thing. It's There's no urgency there, right? Now, if you were saying like an all-night 24/7 quick care, you know what I mean? Like the place that'll stitch you up or give you a flu shot or what, the small basic stuff that you don't have to go to a hospital for necessarily. That might be a little better because quick cares take care of a lot of like small but urgent stuff. Like I need stitches in my finger now and I don't want to go to the hospital. So a quick care might make more sense. There's margins there, and there's urgency there. Again, I would recommend home services, guys. Home services. If you guys ask me anything outside of home services, I'm going to give you the same answer I just gave you. Okay, hopefully that helps.
Okay, Victor asks, if I choose to go with the pay-per-call networks, how long does it take on average to go through the training and get up and running?
Okay, that's a great question. So I've seen people do it's by the way, that's like asking me how long would it take you to finish a marathon. I have no idea, man. Are you 400 pounds or are you like, 40? I have no idea uh, where you're at, what you're capable of. I can give you an idea of a range of what people are able to do. I've seen people set campaigns up inside of a week, start to finish, not knowing anything about the training. I've seen some people take 2 months. It just depends on how much time you have available and how much time you need to have available to implement this. The average, I would say, is probably 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks for your first set of campaigns. After that, the learning curve is gone and it becomes within a few days. Matter of fact, everybody coming to Vegas this next week, we're going to be duplicating out into 5 to 10 cities in less than a day. So that ought to give you an idea of like once this thing gets up to speed, it's kind of like a freight train, right? It takes a minute for the freight train to get started. Yes, it does get going, but man, when it gets going, try stopping it, right? It's a hell of a thing to try to stop because you've got that momentum, and so that's the best way that I can describe that learning curve to you. It's not intense, like I said. It's broken up into 5 to 8 minutes. Actually, I'm trying to think if there's some videos over 8 minutes. I don't know, but they're very small, very short, and they're that way on purpose because we want to make sure it's like step one, do this. Step two, do this, right? And just go through the videos and get the stuff done.
All right, good deal. Um, let's see, Ricardo asks, is any in Canada? So I'm thinking he's asking if there's any pay-per-call, Google Canada, perhaps.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure Canada is one of the countries that does allow call only ads. I would stick with the US and Canada to start with, no matter where you're at. Absolutely.
Okay. Um, let's see here. I'm not sure. Sam's asking a question. How big of an area does the average contractor cover? Not really clear.
That's going to be that's going to be totally up to the contractor, and that's going to vary based on the vertical. Even so, there's a lot of variables to that question. It's going to be impossible to answer. You need to get more specific, pick a vertical, and even then, it's only best guess from me. I mean, I appreciate you guys thinking of me as like the all-knowing guy. I really do. I really just don't know that though. The best thing I do know, what I do know is this. Uh, you can actually find out very, very easily. All you have to do is decide on what vertical you want and then make some phone calls. Okay? And you don't have to sell anything. Just get on the phone, talk to the owners of the business in the vertical that you've chosen and say, hey, listen, this is what I do. I generate live phone calls for your kind of company. Okay, I'm just curious. By the way, I wouldn't just ask them one question like that. I'd ask them several, but that would be a good question to ask. What does your service area look like? Do you guys do surrounding counties? Is it a radius, like 50-mile radius, 100-mile radius? What do you guys do? Um, and it's gonna vary. You might find some patterns and some trends after enough phone calls to enough areas across the country that might help you out, or across the state, depending on how you're targeting. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to give you an exact answer on that, versus you actually doing the market research and getting the exact answer yourself, right? That's again, I'm flattered that you guys think I know that, but I don't.
All right. Let's see here. I hope I don't butcher your name. KOF Kof. Does Kallzu SEO program come with this, or is this totally separate?
This is totally separate. This is totally separate. So I'm the head of the Kallzu Ads division, and Chris is the founder of Kallzu, and Chris runs the SEO division himself. And so this is completely separate in terms of training.
Okay. Let's see here.
You know what's great about that, though? I'll add on to that because there might be somebody wondering, well, what if I have Kallzu SEO? Then awesome, because you're going to want it. After after learning what you learn with the Kallzu Ads side of things, you can come back in. Basically, what Kallzu Ads allows you to do is take over an area instantly and say, oh, look, I can make money in this vertical. Like, for example, I can make money in roofing, and I've sold leads in Dallas and Houston and San Antonio, and now I'm going to expand out to different states or whatever using that exact same vertical, right? The roofing vertical as the example here. And while I'm doing that on the Kallzu ad side, I can go back and implement the Kallzu SEO side and double down on the call volume that I'm driving with the SEO side in those cities that I already have clients under the ad side. So they work really, really well together in tandem like that. Yeah. I know nobody asked that, but it just kind of led me there. That was a good point to make.
Yeah, and at that point, guys, just remember if you're considering the Kallzu SEO program at that point, it's because you've already blown up with this program here. So
Yeah.
there was a question. I'm trying to find it here again. I was looking at a couple different things. Oh, Dave John asks, what are the two upsells to clients you mentioned earlier?
Okay, so the two upsells we do, what we have, what we call we call it what we call it, but you can change the name of it. Again, it's totally copy paste and fill in the blank and white label for you to play around with. But we call it the Premium Leads Program, the PLP. So basically, roofing, for example, if we go back to that example, if you had a roofing contractor or a client, and you were driving live phone calls, let's say, for example, there are so many different things that roofers can do, right? Like metal roofing, residential, commercial, shingle. Good grief, just there's tons, right? You guys get the idea. But what if he made more money and higher margins doing gutters, for example? Because I know a lot of roofers out there, I just happen to know this, a lot of roofers do gutters as well. They also do siding, some of them. Not all of them, but the companies who want to maximize their potential profit centers with a customer, they do multiple things, not just roofing. They'll do gutters, siding, and roofing. And then in the off season, I've even seen some times where several cases where roofers will take their employees and switch them over to pressure washing, like driveways and gutters and whatnot, in the off season instead of having nothing to do, which is kind of cool. So I look at that and I go, wow, there's a lot of opportunity there for them to drive higher margins from their phone calls, and I can drive targeted phone calls, right? I can drive calls for gutters if that was their highest margin product, or maybe it was shingles instead of metal roofing, right? If it's shingles, then I'm going to target all my calls for shingles and I'm going to put them into the premium leads program. What is the premium leads program? It is whatever you say it is, right? You're the one building it. And what I'm saying is if you charge, like for example, let's say you charge $50 a call for roofing, for a roofing lead, $50 a live call. Well, if they make way more money doing shingles or gutters or something like that, I'll target that and I'll say, hey, listen, they'll see this in the sequence and they'll say, tell me more about the premium leads. What do you got? I'll say, well, what's your highest margin product? And they'll say shingles or gutters or whatever they're going to say. And then I'll say, awesome, we can drive calls for those, and it's going to cost you $75 a call, because you're going to make way more money off of those, and we can drive more of those kinds of calls for you. By the way, do you think anybody else has ever approached that person and done that? No, absolutely not, right? No one's gonna approach or give a crap enough about their client. I won't say no one, but say virtually no one is gonna care about their client enough to get them the most profitable leads for them, right? This is how you take. Do you think he's going to sweat spending an extra $25 a lead? That's a 50% increase in lead cost for those types of leads. Does he care? No. Why? Because he's making more money, right? Way more money. He's going to love you. He's going to buy everything he can get his hands on from you, right? At that price, that new price. So that's called the Premium Leads Program. The other one, we actually precondition. We call it the Loyal Partners Program, the LPP. So the Loyal Partners Program preconditions your client when they come on board. I teach people to bring a client on board for a low amount, because you want to grow together, and this is a very important concept. You don't have to sell this way. In fact, I don't even really consider it selling. It's just something I do because it just makes sense. These people have bought leads before, almost always, when I'm on the phone with them. And all our members, we've got phone calls of our members on the phone, or recordings of our members on the phone, closing the same kind of deal where it's like, yeah, I've bought leads before from this company and this company and this company, and they spend hundreds or thousands of dollars up front, right? Not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds to thousands of dollars up front just to try out some leads. So what's it going to hurt to try out 10 leads at $30 a pop, right? It's a $300 hit. That's nothing. That's nothing for the right company that's interested in high quality leads, especially when you tell them they're live phone calls. And oh yeah, you can log into this back office and listen to your call recording, right? Like you have all this set up for them. And by the way, that's all automated for you. Pretty cool stuff, right? Pretty cool stuff when you're able to do that. So we've got the Loyal Partners Program and the Premium Leads Program. Those are the two big upsells. One teaches them to front load their account, the Loyal Partners Program. So you would offer them a small discount if they front load their account with $2,000 or $3,000 in worth of leads, for example. The Premium Leads Program is going to get you a much bigger payout on the call that you drive, because it's really not going to cost you. The difference in what it would cost you to drive a gutter call versus a roofing call is negligible to you. It'd be very, very little difference, if any at all, and to them it would make huge vast sums of money worth of a difference. And that's how you keep a client for 30 years. That's called retention, folks, right? And not only that, but he's going to buy everything he can at that high price. And you just increase your, I mean, if you were doing, think about this, guys, if you were doing 1,000, 2,000 a month, let's say we're doing 2,000 a month with that one client, and you just increase your lead margins by 50%, now you're making 3 grand, right? That's how you do it. Will he be able to grow over time and get more roofing installers? Sure, right? As his company grows and and he sticks with you long term. Why? Because you've got high quality leads, and he's still paying that high price, right? That I say that high price, but that premium price for those premium leads for what he wants. So that's how the program's designed. I know that was a really long-winded answer, but it's important for you to get the concept of like all this is taken care of for you. So like that sounds like a lot of work until you hear the fact that like that was all inside of the autoresponder that's already pre-written for you. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. Like that's it, man. Just fill in the blanks. You're good.
Yeah, and I think one thing to remind everybody too here, and I don't recall if you said it earlier, but these are, unless I'm mistaken, these are exclusive leads, and a lot of businesses are used to getting leads where they're being shared, you know, like Home Advisors, where they're sharing these leads with three, four, five other
That's
companies.
correct.
So I mean,
That's
you've got
correct.
such a higher quality lead, it makes it so much easier to have that client for life, so to speak, because you know you're they're the leads coming to them and them only, not to three or four other plumbers, not to three or four other, electricians, whoever it might be. So it's just a much higher quality lead from their perspective. I'm be more than happy to pay for those types of leads. And the other thing I did want to point out too, because I know somebody else asked about the SEO, and I know a lot of people like the like SEO or the rank and rent type of method, which I like that too. But one thing that's great about this kind of think about it is you're kind of cutting into the front of the line, taking out all the stuff you have to do in order just to be ready to sell a rank and rent method to sell that site or those leads from that site in a month. It's going to take you time. If you rank it, then you can rent it. Here, you're guaranteed getting leads. It's just how many leads you want and how many you can sell off. So you're cutting to the front of the line, and I want to make sure everybody really understands the power and the value and the time. Even if it takes you a week or two to kind of get up to speed on this, it is so much quicker than the I don't want to call it the old method, the old school, but with SEO it takes time. Yeah, just it is.
Yeah.
It's a matter of fact. And this is the time is, well, how quick can you get started and how quick can you get going? And boom, you hit the ground running. And once you figure this out, and then you can build it out. Basically, have a template. Once you have one niche, one city, you have a template to move into multiple cities that much quicker. And this can just like William was saying earlier, it's kind of like you said, a freight train. I would use another analogy like a snowball. It's kind of a snowball effect. It takes a little bit to get that snowball going, but once you start rolling and get going, it gets bigger and bigger, that much easier and faster. And it's the same thing here. So just something that I wanted to point out, just to make sure everybody kind of understood. Um, and then the other thing I just wanted to remind you too is there's not a lot of time for you to take action tonight. So if you are interested, make sure you pop over to the sales page. I'm going to put the link in the chat box again, but make sure you jump over there and get in. This is a great opportunity for you guys. Like I said, I wanted to bring it on because it's just something that's unique, something you just I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this here before. So with that, let me get into some other questions here. Hopefully, I had a chance to hopefully get a drink of water there or something, William, because I'm sure you're
Yeah, definitely.
a
I
little
did
parched
actually.
there.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Can
Well,
you
Peter,
can you hear can you hear me croaking?
not doing too bad, really.
Good.
Okay. I think I just answered one of your questions for you. It's kind of funny. I just mentioned this, but Peter said so. We have a template once we figure out city one, for example. So yes, Peter,
Exactly.
I can answer
Yeah.
that. Yes, you would have a template, like I just said. Once you set up one niche, one city, you can take that template and expand out into multiple cities, and you're just saving yourself that much time. Let's see here. Um, will the U.S. based operators work for Canada also?
That's a great question. I do not know the answer to that because that's not my method. That's actually Chris's method, that he's fine-tuned. So what I would say is submit a ticket to support@kallzu.com and ask. They would definitely know. That is not my arena. The reason I say that's not my arena is because there's multiple ways you can pick up clients. The reason we showed you that way is because it takes all of the guesswork out and it makes it simple for you to do. Um, Whereas I've never been, I won't say I've never been afraid to get on the phone. I've actually been crazy afraid a couple of times, but I still did it anyway. So I've never had a problem with getting on the phone personally and uh, circumventing that entire process. So I don't actually even use that process personally. Um, I teach people how to use it, how to not use it, and I haven't run into anybody that needed to use it for Canada. But I do know that some people outside of the states were wondering, and I just don't remember what the answer was to that question because I didn't answer it in the support back office there. I just didn't track that, and so support's definitely going to know, just not me.
Okay. Um, this has been answered a couple or asked a couple times. I think he answered actually. Tom asked, "This is different than Kallzu SEO," and yes, this is completely different. I know you answered that before, but there's been a couple other people who have since asked, so I don't think they heard the answer.
Okay.
So this is completely different, guys, than Kallzu SEO. And Kallzu, like I said earlier, Kallzu SEO, if you don't have it and you invest here in the Kallzu pay-per-call AdWords and doing well, it's a natural fit for you to want to go into the SEO version as well and be an investment that would be paid for with your earnings with pay-per-call and vice versa for that matter. Let's see here. Sam asks, can the call center handle Spanish calls?
Can it handle Spanish calls?
Yeah. So can the
I have
operators or any bilingual, I guess is kind of the
I
question.
have no I again I have no idea. I don't use the process, so again, support@kallzu.com. Yeah.
Okay. Um, Christopher asks, are there any upsells to us after we pay $397 today?
No upsells. None. None whatsoever.
All right. And then let's see. Um, Victor asks, does Google offer any type of an ad credit for new pay-per-call accounts similar to the credit offered for Google AdWords accounts?
No, they do not. They offer ad vouchers for all brand new for a brand new AdWords account, but not for call only ads. Call only ads is a type of ad campaign that was added into the platform, and so no, that's not going to apply.
So if you're, so just to clarify, if you're totally new to AdWords though, would you be able to use
Yes,
one of the vouchers? So you'd be able to use, I think it's like $50 or something like that. So if you're totally new to AdWords, yes, you can. But if you already have AdWords, you probably had that used one before you can't use another.
you got it.
Let's see here. What Dave John asks, what payment method integrates with backend, i.e., can customers pay with credit card via PayPal?
Yes, PayPal is the main back end. Some people use Stripe. I personally use Stripe. So you can use whatever you want, but PayPal does have an integration point for our call tracking software that we give you guys access to, by the way. So you'll have access to that, and PayPal folds into that.
Okay. Ricardo asks, will this offer be available sometime down the road after tonight?
Uh, I would think so, but I can't guarantee that. I mean, um,
Yeah, I can
what
answer a
what?
little bit more. I've talked to Chris a little bit, and I was going to talk to him later tonight again about possibly doing an encore on Saturday.
Okay,
Talking about like
okay.
Saturday at 2. but that's not a guarantee, guys. So I can't even answer it right now. But that's what I was talking to Chris about, and I was going to talk to him later tonight or tomorrow about it. So
You know, someone bringing that up reminds me of the GoDaddy flaw, right? That's a hesitation.
yeah,
Like I see it and sense it and hear it or feel it even. Um, that hesitation will get you killed, man. Like in a race car, that kind of hesitation will get you killed. Um, this is something where if you're if it makes sense to you and it's something you want to do, uh, I can tell you that the results are there on the other side. I can tell you that much. But not if you say, well, shit, let me come back in 6 months. I mean, I'm not saying we won't be bringing on new members in 6 months. I'm sure we will. But at what price point? I have no idea. I can tell you this much, it's not going to be this low. And that hesitation is going to cost you, that GoDaddy flaw, right? It's going to cost you. I'd rather it not do that. And not only that, but you're missing out on 6 months of advancements. I mean, I didn't. I covered so much stuff with you guys. Here's what's crazy. I didn't even have a chance really to tell you of like what all's coming. Um, there's so much stuff that we cover in our coaching calls that I cover every 2 weeks that will blow your mind when you hear, WordStream was one of those things. I mean, we started this thing without WordStream. We added it, and then we made it into a done for you. And so that evolution, that process of evolution happened um, from day one of our first few members. And so and now we have several hundred and growing, and it just everything just continues to evolve. And so 6 months from now, the market and the marketplace is going to look completely different. I'm not saying saturation or anything. I'm saying in terms of learning curve, you're just going to be way behind the eight ball later. Now would be the time, right? If there is a time, now would be it.
yeah,
That's the deal.
yeah. I would just echo what you just said, and also add that I mean I haven't, and I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's rear end or anything like that. I haven't seen anything like this before, and the opportunity here to be able to, like I said earlier, kind of cut in the line and be ready to go. With such in-depth training, but also be ready to go to start earning money quickly, this quickly. There's nothing guaranteed in life except death and taxes, I suppose, but this is about the closest guarantee I've seen in our marketing arena, so to speak. And you can do it with or without clients, and which is amazing. To be able to do, because there are those affiliate offers or the CPA offers out there that can pay you upwards. I think I saw one was for up to $400 for a drug rehab live call, just which is $400 a call. I mean, and that's not them landing a client who needs rehab. It's just a prospect calling them, and you get paid $400. So it's just amazing. That one call right there, by the way, would more than cover your investment today. And That's why I want to point out too. When you look at this program or any others, just make sure you're not looking at it as an expense. It's really an investment in yourself and your business. And at 397 for what's inside here, when William was kind of going through the value, which stacking the value here, I don't think he's blowing smoke up your rear there either, because this is worth a heck of a lot more than the 397. But they're willing to do it. The investment word works both ways. William and Chris are willing to make an investment in you guys too, and want to see your success, and that's why they're willing to do it at such a low, really below entry level here. And that's why I wanted to have them on the call tonight, because I know they are looking to charge extremely more. I know Chris in the past has had not. I'm not talking about this program. Other programs start at one price and they go up. So if you're looking, you don't want to get caught up in that GoDaddy flaw, as Williams mentioned. If you're on the fence, you have a question, let us answer. Let William answer it. But I can tell you this is quicker and easier than anything I've seen and or done in the local marketing or the online marketing spaces, bar none. So with that, I did have a question here for you, William, from let's see here, from David Kusky. Says, is it easy to get approved for pay-per-call offers, and how long does it take to get paid for these?
That varies by the network as far as how long it takes to get paid. They usually pay, I want to say, and again, it's not across the board, but I want to say like net 30 starting out. Some of them, once you get going, will pay you on a weekly, maybe bi-weekly basis, or a net 15, something like that. The the approval process is actually for some of the networks. Very, very simple. And for some, it's going to take you a little bit of doing. But that's why we give you all the exact networks that we use and recommend, as well as plug them into the Facebook group. So we actually have representatives, uh, actually higher up representatives from each, not every network, but several of the main networks that we recommend and use and work with are all inside of the Facebook group too. And they give you guys training on what they learn and what they do and what they know. They're there to help you make money with their offers, because if you make money, then they make money, right? So, I mean, it's a hell of a thing. The process, I mean, to get simple, it's a time frame. I've seen it take a couple of days. You know, it's not very long at all to get approved, and we have a set a set of instructions that will streamline that process for you and give you the ins and outs of what to do, what not to do when applying, and that'll actually help out a lot. So,
Okay.
good question.
Mark C says, can you give us the address again? I think it means URL, so I can sign up. And it's in the chat box, Mark. But it's if William, can you put that slide up where it shows the URL here? It's learn.kallzu.com/awdivine.
Absolutely.
But like I
Can
said,
everybody
it's
see that
in.
okay?
What's that?
Can everybody see that okay?
I'm trying to go to it. Yep. Yeah, right there next to there
Okay.
says FAQ, guys, and specifically marked there. You can see it there, and it should be in the chat box. I put it in there, dropped it in a couple of times, and no problem. Just did it again. Um, and thank you, Mark. Let's see. Um, Larry Lawrence asks an interesting question. Is there a reduced price for Kallzu members? I think you got a reduced price right now.
That was, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like that. This is it. This is it. Um, if I remember right, Chris told me to say that this is the reduced price for existing Kallzu members, because if you're a Kallzu member and you message into support, it's actually a lot more. And I'm not sure how that works out, but he just told me, and so I take his word for it.
Yeah, I
So
know there's also
if, yeah, if Chris says it's costing you more money to go through support than if you're an existing member, then you probably ought to go through here.
yeah, yeah. He
You know,
mentioned to me too. There was like a different. I know it's a higher, significantly higher price. So this is kind of like an unannounced. For everybody, it's the lowest you can get for anybody in or out of the program. So let's see here. Let's see. Tom asks, and I can answer this, but he says we can start with local clients, right?
yes, yes, you can. You can start anywhere you want, anyhow, any way you want. So you can start with affiliate only, start with local client only. You can start with both. You can start with affiliate and transition a local client. You name it. There's a lot of ways to do this.
Yeah. So I think you answered Tom's follow-up question, and not affiliate offers. Tom, you can do it any way you want. It's very flexible. You can do one or the other or both, just however you want to do it. Let's see here. I don't see it on the page. Okay, Mark C. Mark, I think everybody else can see the page here. Mark says he can't see the page. Mark, it's the URL is learn.kallzu.com /AWDEVINE. If you still have problems, you can always go to support@kallzu.com. Tell them you're on the webinar, on Anthony's webinar, and they can take care of you as well.
By the way, Kallzu, in case you can't see it, is Kallzu, spelled a little bit differently, Kallzu.
Alrighty. Larry asked, missed most of this. Will there be a replay? There's not going to be a replay, Larry. However, there may be an encore live presentation on Saturday. I'm going to talk to Chris Winters later tonight or tomorrow morning about that, so you can stay tuned inside your inbox email for me. I can't guarantee it though, one way or another right now. But I can tell you, this is a great opportunity. I'm not sure what point you came in to see this, but like I said, it's the best thing I've seen, anything I've done in my 5+ years full time of doing internet marketing now.
Well, thank you. That's flattering.
Yeah, I'm not
Goodness.
pulling anyways. Like I say, it's to me, it's like you're cutting to right to the straight, right to the front of the line. You've got done for you, all sorts of done for you on the software. You've got the 90 days autoresponder. That's insane. I mean, think about that. Just to have the first 3 months there, packing all that value in to retain clients. And the best way to make more money is with your own clients, typically, to get them to do more work or they do more business with you. So you don't want to have to keep on getting new clients. Of course, you want to get new clients, but you don't have to replace those that you've gotten before. That just takes more time, more energy, and you don't make as much. So they have that 90 days available inside there, just waiting to go. Plug and play easy, or as you were calling it, nice and easy. Um, I mean, it's just a no-brainer to me. I mean, just that in and of itself would cost
All
or
that
value,
stuff,
but a
by the way,
lot.
is great. Yeah, all that stuff that you mentioned is great. I love that stuff too. I mean, we came up with it, right? But the biggest thing that stands out to me is that you can have a Lamborghini, but if you don't know how to drive it or have someone drive it for you or drive you around, what's the point in having it, right? And that's where all of our support stuff comes in, where we do the review requests at every critical stage to make sure that you're getting this and moving forward with it to have a profitable campaign. That's how people are doing this. They're not just overnight becoming ad geniuses or something like that. They're hitting our support staff, and our support staff is setting them on the right path in each critical stage. And they plug and play that, and then they go and they plug and play the sequence for the client, and then the client getting sequence stuff that with the $1.50, $1.75 call strategy, and then you've got the software that's all done for you. That's plug and play. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, you put all that together, and it makes a hell of a deal. But my favorite, I got to say, has got to be the support, because it's that kind of level of hand holding is it's rare. I won't say it's unheard of, but it's rare.
Yeah, and everything you just put together and stacked there and mentioned, and I've heard this not maybe overused, but I've heard it used a lot, and I always kind of laugh. People say they've got a product that's a business in a box, and it just cracks me up because it's usually anything but that. But what you've got here is akin to that, where you've got everything you can think of. I mean, you guys out there listening, you have to remember, earlier on showed where Chris has already earned over 817 or $27,000 this month in a little over 3 weeks now, just in February alone, and we're not even through the month. He and William have both seen a lot. They're very experienced. They know what works. They know what doesn't work. They know what's gonna, it's allowing you to kind of cut through all the BS and and I'm also here to help you cut through the BS. I wouldn't have William on if I didn't believe in the product, believe in Chris, believe in William. I've known both these guys for many years, and have the most utmost respect for them. And they're giving it to you on a silver platter. And I'm not saying it lightly. I don't think anybody's ever heard me say that before on a webinar, because I usually don't, can endorse and recommend, highly recommend other things, but this is beyond anything I've seen before. And I'm not, like I said, I am not blowing smoke up anybody's rear. I would never do that. It's just not my style. So, and I think if you go listen to any old replays of my webinars, you would find out I haven't said stuff like that. So it must be true then. Awesome. Mark, he said he's got the link and he's going to sign up. Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. And on behalf of Chris and William, I'll say welcome aboard.
Yeah, well, welcome aboard.
All righty. Tom asks, I want to use PayPal credit. How can I do that?
Oh goodness. I don't know. I'm not familiar with PayPal credit enough to to guide you.
Yeah, I don't know if, I haven't used it, and I'm not sure if you go to checkout and then there's the availability, is that's one of the options or not. Sometimes I think it is. I just don't know. But if all else fails, go to support@kallzu.com and ask the question because obviously we don't have, unfortunately, that answer for you. I have not had experience with it myself either. Um, um, Let me see here. Make sure. Okay, I've got a question. I'm not sure. Des is asking, is WordStream akin to CPV Lab or Volume type tracking tools?
Um, uh, that's kind of like saying, and by the way, nothing against volume and CPV lab, but it's. I'll tell you this, like WordStream. Yeah, how do I say this? I'm trying to find a good analogy to explain it. It's like saying, like an aircraft carrier is a boat. You know what I mean? Like a nuclear powered aircraft carrier is like the not quite a dinghy. It's not that much of a difference, but like a boat or a yacht even. I mean, it's massively different. Um, and what you can do. And so whether or not, by the way, you choose to use those are totally optional. It's not like it's a mandatory part of the process. You can manage everything manually or plug in your own tools. So if you have your own tools like that you want to do outside, totally okay. If you're going to ask for support based on using those tools, you're probably not going to get that because we don't do that, right? If we ever folded those in, then yeah, you obviously would help you with that. We'd get support to you on that. But WordStream is without saying anything bad or negative about anyone's service, because I don't like doing that. It is by far the best that we have found for what we do.
Okay. Let's see here. Peter asks, I understand keyword research, etc. Can we get up and running quick? Pretty general,
I think
pretty
we already
general
answered
question. I
that
kind of answered it before.
one. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little broad, Peter, but it's just really it's one of those how fast and up and running do you want to get going too? It's like saying how fast can you run? I think you equate it to a marathon, or how fast can you run the mile? Well, are you in shape or are you out of shape? Um, there's all sorts of variables, but sounds like you have some experience with keyword research and um, I think William said earlier, a couple of weeks just to really understand the lay of the land. That doesn't mean you're not doing as you're learning. That you're gonna have a little
That's
bit of a
exactly
learning
right.
curve. So you could, I don't know if you know how quickly somebody's actually made money. I think we saw proof that somebody did this the first day. So
Yeah.
there's no reason you can't be in the money the first day, but to be up and running, I kind of see that as something where you're making, a certain level of income that you see in your head maybe your goal is initially, $500 to $1,000 a month. And of course, you want to go from there. Then you're talking, a little bit more time, but it's going to depend on a lot of variables. It's going to depend on how bad you want it. That's usually the biggest variable that I see, because most people unfortunately see this as it's a lot of these things are a great opportunity. They love the the idea of being rich or making a lot of money, but they fall in love with the idea. Well, behind all that, there's always you got to do something to make that happen. What's great about this program is that so much is done for you that once you are up and running, it is like that locomotive, it is like that snowball. It just doesn't take much of your effort or your time once you get the engine going, but you got to get the engine going. And once you do, that's when all the magic happens. And like I said, there's not that many engines like this in in online or offline marketing. And this is, like I said, from a done for you perspective, with the training and all the tools, everything you have put together. There's just nothing I've seen like it, especially at this, to me, a ridiculously low price, or as I like to prefer to call it, as an investment. I mean, it's just extremely low. Um, and if you grab a client, you're going to most likely be earning that with that first client and a lot more. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more perspective, Peter. But thank you for the question. See here. Um, Now, Janice did ask about a senior citizen discount. um, that's great. And appreciate, yeah, what's great is like I don't want to call you a grandma because there's Grandpa, I think, Bill earlier, but age is should not be a challenge or a barrier to entry here or anything like that. I think it's awesome that you're here, and I think AARP actually sent me a card to register, and I just turned 50 last year, so I guess I'm a senior citizen now too. So, but seriously though, this is bare bones. If you're a Kallzu member, this is the least expensive you can get in. And so really the discounts have been are being provided to everybody, I guess is the best way to explain it right now. So there isn't unfortunately anything extra, but well, hopefully you see the value here. Let's see. Sunny asks, are any verticals penetrated? If 500 people are doing this, some of it must be saturated. What do you think about the
Yeah,
saturation question? I always laugh,
yeah,
but
saturation. So let me tell you a little story about saturation, and then you'll kind of get where I come out on that. So I on my case studies, actually, we do several case studies, and we're going to do several more with students and with myself, not just me, right? So a couple of them are me, and then several of them are students. And on the students, I don't reveal their vertical unless they're okay with it, because sometimes they want to be private with it just for personal reasons. Um, I personally, on any case study I do, reveal everything. Um, it's one of the reasons why I'm not scared to show you numbers inside of my own AdWords accounts, to show you like, hey, like this is this is what can be done, and here's the exact vertical that I'm doing it in. Uh, if you want to step in. By the way, so many people have stepped in on pest control, and it doesn't bother me a bit. Actually, it's one of those kind of flattering things. I wish people. The only thing I would wish for is that people would be a little bit more original. Because I'll give you an example. One student that I have was running running some. Running some call-only ads to an affiliate offer that probably 20 other people were doing, no doubt. And there's money to be made. I'm not saying there's not, there is. But then another vertical came up through discovering inside of his search terms. Like we did some discovery and saw, oh look, there's some cool search terms like for an awesome vertical that no one is in. And yeah, there's not going to be an affiliate offer for it, but man, this stuff is like high margin. And by the way, when I say high margin, I'm talking the average job for this kind of stuff was like 10,000 up, sometimes as much as $100 to $2,000 a job, $100,000 to $200,000 per job. Okay, so a few phone calls, sure, but here's the funny thing. So the vertical that he was going after was water damage. and for some reason, one of his keywords triggered because it wasn't targeted enough, which is one of the things he and I were working on. But it triggered crime scene cleanup, and and there were six freaking calls in Houston, dude. I kid you not. I'm not moving to Houston. But holy crap, like, and I'm looking at that going, I go, wait, look at that, and we just had like 20 minutes later, I'm looking at this awesome vertical, and then I had another one where someone was looking at maid service, and I'm like, yeah, maid service is pretty cool, this and that. And then I looked at his search terms, we did some discovery, and I'm like, holy crap, dude, they have topless maids? And we look it up, and it's huge margins. It's like I mean, ridiculous margins. Now, I mean, yeah, you might have to be a little bit morally flexible on that one, but
Did you
but you
say
guys
huge?
get what, yeah,
Huge
you
what?
guys get what, yeah, exactly right. You guys get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, so do I really care about saturation? No, and there's many reasons why. I just pointed out in that story. Number one, I already have lots of competition on pest control. It doesn't faze me one bit, and I'm sure I'll have more. No big deal. But look at all the specialty or specialized, what I like to call subverticals. So there's maid service, which actually I think there are affiliate offers for maid service, if I remember correctly. I saw a few, but there's then stuff like topless maids comes up, right? And you're like, what? Who would have ever thought? I would have never thought of that. And I knew they were in existence. I just didn't know they were in existence like that. You know what I mean? Until you know. You never know till you know. And so I look at that and I go, man, these are just offshoots that just who in the hell else would ever figure that one out?
Right.
Now I told you guys, obviously, and so you guys are probably going to go blow those up, which is fine. Uh, but that's the point. You're going to blow those up, and you're going to look in your discovery, your search terms, and discover some crazy cool things like that, opportunities like that. And by the way, the NAISC or NA what is it? NASIC codes for employment. There's like over 30,000 of them. So I'm really, really not worried about saturation. If that kind of
Yeah,
lays it out for you,
yeah.
hopefully.
I never worry about that either. It kind of cracks me up. To me, that's another. I don't want to use the GoDaddy flaw, but it's um, I like to use the analogy. People start asking a lot of different questions, the what if questions. What if I don't have a website? What if they call me, ask me a question? What if I don't know the answer to the question? What if I don't know this or that or the other thing? The thing is you got to stop with the what ifs because I can tell you, I can count on one hand, and actually one hand with all my fingers closed, how many clients and or prospects have asked me either for um, what if I had a website. I've never been asked that one time. I'm not saying not everybody else has, but through my own experiences, I've never been asked. I have one, and I share it with a prospect at some point in time, but I've never been asked, and that seems like to be one thing that always keeps people prevents them. They're always looking for reasons not to move forward, or almost like they're afraid of success or afraid of failure, and afraid to take the next step. Well, you got to take that next step. Next step doesn't matter if you slip, trip, or fall down. If you get back up, that's what's important. And so a lot of those types of questions, you just got to you block them out of your mind. Because most of them they just aren't going to come up, so you don't have to worry about it. And if they do, if you're really worried about something, just have an answer for like a website. Well, yes, I do have a website. Even if you don't get a domain, and put up use a WordPress plugin that says that it's down for repairs and maintenance or something. It real takes 2 minutes to do, and you've answered the question. Yes, I have a website, but hey, it's under maintenance right now, and you can have that thing under maintenance completely. And you're being totally honest. You do have a website. It's right there. You can give them the URL. I wouldn't necessarily do that, but if you wanted to feel better, you could do it, and then you've got your answer right there. Yes, I do have a website. However, it's down for repairs and maintenance. And then you know what? They're probably going to forget and never ask you about it again. So just don't let those what ifs kind of creep up and prevent you from doing what you want to do and what the goals you set for yourself and want to achieve. Just block it out and go for it. That's what you got to do, because otherwise you're just going to spin your wheels and you're going to get off this call and think, that sounds great and I want to do it, but what if this happens, that got to stop it right now. It's just not, it's counterproductive. So I'll get off my soapbox now. Um, let's see. I see Christopher has gotten in, and he just want to put in that he's in. I'm in, ready to change my life around. That's awesome, Christopher. Thanks a lot for getting in, and I'm sure William and I'm not sure. I know William and Chris are happy that you joined, and I'm glad you did too, and look forward to hearing about your successes too. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely on that.
I have, let's see here. Who pays, Ricardo's asking, who pays the USA trained operators?
That would be on you.
Yeah, it was for inbound call, it's $1.50 flat rate. For outbound call, $1.75 flat rate.
You
Correct?
got it.
Right.
Yep.
And I mean, that's dirt cheap. Think of an outbound call, saving your time, energy, and nerves from having to make the outbound calls. I mean,
Yep.
it's amazing how, if you don't want to make phone calls, hey, you don't have to. You can get somebody to do it that's trained to do this probably better than we could anyway, right? You want to spend time eventually, sooner than later, working on your business, not in the business. So, that's what's great about that. And once you have somebody doing the calls for you, you're never going to want to go back to the phone calls. Trust me. Let's see. Um, Tom's asking, can you explain how the calls for the operators work?
Yeah, sure. So it's that same five-step process. I mean, you give them whatever. Actually, there's scripts that are provided if memory serves correctly as part of that method. But basically, you provide the scripts to the USA trained and based operators. They take the lead information from the leads that you're driving, and they deliver those to the local contractor. Follow up with that lead to make sure they got serviced by that local contractor, and then they do that process again, giving them a second lead, and then they say, hey, would you like to get these on a set price, a set number of leads at a set price? Okay, great. Here's the information to do that, to contact this guy, and then they'll call you up as well and say, hey, here's the here's the information for the guy that wants to know more about your leads. That's the process.
All righty. I was just answering a couple questions privately while you're doing that. So let's see here. Um,
I wasn't kidding when I said till the wheels fall off, huh?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The wheels keep on coming. Keep on bringing those questions. If you, especially if you're on the fence and there's something that you haven't felt has been answered through the presentation or in the Q&A right now, there's no dumb question. As you can see, I might use your first name. I'm not going to use your full name. So, you're not going to be called out for anything. There's no dumb question. The only dumb question is the one that's not asked. So make sure you ask whatever question you may have. Doesn't matter if you're newbie. We're all started there. Uh, as well. So you got to learn. We're all learning every day. I've learned things today too. So um, don't be afraid to ask the questions. Let's see here. All right, Tom says he's about ready to pull the trigger. Well, you've got just a very short window of time, Tom, and you've been well engaged in the conversation in the chat box, so we do appreciate that, and I know you're making the right decision to jump on in. Um, let's see here. Had a couple of people ask if we're providing a replay, and unfortunately, unless Chris Winters changes his mind, the answer is no. I'm recording this in case he does change his mind, but as right now, he had said no to me. The one thing we might be doing is doing an encore on Saturday, but it would be another live presentation. That's not set in stone yet either, so you'd have to look for emails from me in your inbox. Tomorrow and kind of go from there. Be tomorrow morning. I'd let you know. And if I can provide replay, I will. But like I said, I can't just promise it because I don't have control over that. If I did have control, I'd drop it in there, but I don't. So if you're on the fence, what can we answer to push you over onto the right side to go ahead and make that investment? Uh, let's see here. Mark is asking, kind of, I guess, which is more successful, staying in one vertical or staying in one geo area? Um, can you hear me, William?
Whoops, I was on mute. Sorry, I was given this
Yeah, I do
awesome
that once in a
answer.
while too.
I was given this awesome answer and I was on mute. So I guess you guys just missed it. No, I'm kidding. Um, so I recommend to all our members that they do one vertical, and not everybody takes me up on my recommendation. It is a recommendation. It is not a requirement. The reason I um, the reason I make that recommendation is once you get one vertical dialed in one city or even a few cities at once, you can do that, and then you scale it out. It's a lot more efficient than doing that over and over and over again, having to learn and dial in a new vertical every time for a few clients. And so instead of having five verticals and five clients, which would be 25, you in a fraction of the time and a fraction of the money, by the way, spent overall, you could have 25 clients in one vertical and be making way, way more money because everything is super, super dialed in. Not only that, but the cool thing about that is that with your momentum under that one vertical, when you scale to 50, 75, 100 clients, how hard and how, let's say not how hard, how much, how difficult do you think it will be compared to uh, doing two or three verticals at once? How difficult do you think it would be if you had a couple hundred grand a month coming in to spend whatever you needed to spend on employees and on ad spend to totally take over vertical number two and number three and get those started up after you've gotten to 100 clients. So a good example of that in real life, and I say real life because we were in the theory world there of if you get 50 clients or 100 clients, right? So let me play this out for you. If you strike iron in one place, or all over the place, I should say, let's say a piece of iron, and you strike it one time all over the piece, it's nothing happens, right? It's just you striking iron. The energy bleeds away, right? But if you strike iron in the same exact spot over and over and over with the same amount of time and force that you did as the previous example, it gets red hot. Right? It changes, it does something, and you can mold it, and it's crazy how that works, right? It's just one of those things. It's the principle of applying leverage, and so you have much much more leverage at 100 clients in one vertical, which is faster to achieve, by the way, than 100 clients in even five verticals, because that'd be 20 clients a vertical. It's like trying to scale five mountains at the same time, uh, as opposed to scaling one and enjoying the view for a while, right? And then, I'm kind of tired of this view. I'll go and scale a few other mountains. But guess what? Because you scaled that one, you're in shape, you're fit. Because by the time it took you to get to the top of that mountain, you built up your fitness level, and so scaling mountains two and three are going to be much much easier, right? That's the best way I can think to describe it.
Right. Okay. Dan's asking, is there another method other than PayPal? I need to borrow someone's credit card and it's not hooked to PayPal. I think the answer, if anybody's having any payment issues or questions about payments, I think unless William can answer, I think the best is to go ahead and contact email support at Kallzu KALLZU.com. I know there's support standing by right now, so they should be able to answer your question, very quickly for you to see if there's another way to do that. I just don't. I really don't know. I wish I could give you a better answer than that, but they'll be able to answer it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Lawrence is asking a question. What are the realistic expenses for costs, flat rate phones, online ads, whatever else?
What are the expenses for what?
He says, what are the realistic, I'm sorry, what are the realistic expectations for costs, flat rate phone fees, I guess he's asking, online ads, whatever else, whatever other costs might be involved. I think he's kind of get an
I
idea,
got you.
what kind of
Yeah.
the cost is. It's obviously going to vary, but
Yeah, it's going to vary a lot depending on your goals. I mean, if you just said cost for going after 100 clients, I could give you a better idea of that. But even that's going to be a ballpark versus what, one client a week, or are you just doing affiliate offers? I mean, I can tell you that the numbers are. I've shown you numbers from our students. I've shown you numbers from my account personally and live. And you can see that it might be 3,000 some odd dollars that I spent, and yeah, the difference after the expenses are taken out is like 9,200 something, right? But here's the kicker: if you do the math on 637 calls, 3469, I think that was, it's like $5 a call, $5 and change a call. So you tell me, right? How much are you going to sell a call for? What vertical are you going to go in, right? You got to start answering some of your own questions. Once you do that, then you'll have a better idea of what you can actually just reverse engineer, do the math, basically. If it's $5, $6 a call for your vertical, then how much are you going to sell the call for? That difference is called your profit, your net profit. And with your net profit, figure out how many calls a day you need uh, to do whatever it is that you need to pay for, whatever it is you need to pay for, or how, live a comfortable life, whatever that looks like for you, right? Again, there's a lot of variables there, but you have the numbers and the math to figure it out. The variables that need to be answered are actually on your end, not on ours, right? We've shown examples of people spending $11. We've shown people examples of people spending $1.54, $80, $3,469, whatever that was. You get the idea, right? It should give you a pretty good range, no matter what you're trying to go for. But the variables that need to be answered are on your end, my man. Definitely.
okay. And then Edgar's asking the question. I think we've already answered this before. I know we did actually. It says, can I do this if I'm already a member of Kallzu SEO? Yes, you can do it. It's an entirely different program and training, however, so you would have to invest in it, but certainly can. Is there anything you want to add on that, William?
Just that Chris said, if you're a Kallzu SEO member and you contact support to get this, it's going to be more. And I didn't ask for any details on that. I just took his word for it, and he said to let everybody know that this is it, that this is the best right here, the best price that you'll find it. And so I would take Chris at his word on that one. I'd take him on his word on that one.
Right, right. Let's see here. Trying to go through. You guys are asking a lot of good questions, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to answer some privately that can be, and then going through here. I just don't want to duplicate them. Let's see. That's been answered. That's been answered. Um, okay, Sonny's asking, is there any estimate on the volume of leads that a client may receive if they ask the question? I'm sure it depends on the vertical, but how would we know the volume?
How would you know the volume of each vertical? Is that what,
Yeah,
for a
it's kind of
specific
trying to
area, or?
estimate, if we go into a certain vertical and they're trying to sell leads to clients, how would they know what type of volume of leads they'd be able to supply that client?
Yeah, so your numbers are, the longer you run your ads and the more you optimize, your volume can go up. Um, how you would know, it's just sometimes it's best guess. I mean, the idea here is if you're starting out with 0 clients and you haven't run you haven't run any traffic to any affiliate offer either, then you have no data. And if you have no data, you're asking questions that just no one can answer, truthfully anyway, not even me. And so what I would say to you is run ads either through an affiliate offer. This is one of the reasons why we teach. It's not mandatory, but again, we teach it for a very specific reason. It's why we teach to run an affiliate offer that is in your vertical or related to your vertical at the very least, to get an idea for the traffic, to get an idea for the market demand, and then transition that into local clients. We do that for a very specific, actually a very specific set of reasons. Um, but yeah, the the um, the volume is going to depend. I mean, I've seen cities of like 170,000 do 60 to 80 calls a month. I've seen them do. I've seen cities that are like 500,000 do less than that though. It just depends on the market and what the size of the city is and the size of the area that you're targeting and the demand for that offer in that market, right? There's a lot of things in play there. Uh, the best way that I know is is to get numbers because numbers don't lie, right? So the best way I know is to actually get numbers, which is data. And once you have data, you can make decisions based on that data, right? Um, in order to get data, in order to get the numbers, what do you got to do? Set up some ad campaigns, get them running, right? And spend some money. That's what it takes. Sometimes you got to spend some money to find out where you should be going, or what you should be doing, or what you should be targeting.
All right. Let's see here. Just again answering questions here. Um, okay, Tom's asking a question. Do you recommend we pay for the leads first and then get the operators to call the prospects and then land the client, or get the client to pay up front?
Uh, that sounds like maybe you don't understand the process, and so let me back up here. So, uh, the 100% strategy, that process walks the client, like you forward the phone calls to this service. So you don't take phone calls, they do. That's what you're paying them for, right? And so when they take the phone calls, they handle everything from there, up until the point where out comes the other end, a potential client that's interested in more of your leads. Then when you have them as a client, or when you have a client from that process, you then forward the leads from that area, for example, instead of forwarding them to the service that the 100% strategy that takes care of all that for you, you would forward them direct to that client, and that's how you would manage that. Um, if you're using that process, that's how you would manage that.
Okay. Let's see here. Tom has, I guess, a follow-up question to that, or another one. So this is to set up ads with your help to drive calls, correct? How does this work with the regular Kallzu training?
Okay, so I see where the questions are coming from, why they're coming in. So here's the deal, man. Um, it's not Kallzu SEO. It's not related to Kallzu SEO. It's Kallzu ads. It's totally separate. It's that way. We keep it separate for a reason. They both ultimately drive the same result. Okay, they're just two different ways to drive that result. Um, the question about setting up ads and driving phone calls, uh, yeah, that's again like calling a you know an aircraft carrier, a dinghy, or a boat. Um, it's not the most accurate description, but for shorthand, yes, that is that is what this is.
Okay. Guys, we're running short on time here, so if you have any other questions, please keep them coming. I mean, there've been some great questions. I appreciate everybody sticking around. We got still a big group on hand that stuck around the whole time, so greatly appreciate that. And just want to also thank uh, William again, because his voice has got to be getting pretty raw by now. He wasn't kidding at the beginning that he'd stick around basically till the cows come home, I think. So let's see here if I can see if there's any other questions. again, there's been a few other questions about checking out. If you're having, I can see lots of people are getting in. So if you are having any issues, be sure to go to email support@kallzu.com and just tell them that you're on Anthony Devine's webinar, and ask them whatever your question is related to payment, or if you're having any trouble, and they'll be happy to assist you any way that they possibly can. So let's see here. Janice is asking, we already have access to much of this in our members of Kallzu. Well, I think that's another one kind of going to the Kallzu SEO versus ads that we just answered. So Janice, it's, I guess the best way if kind of separate, got to think of Kallzu SEO, that's entirely different program. And maybe if it was two different names, maybe that make it easier for some people to understand. So this is completely different training. So you don't have, if you don't have Kallzu pay per call arbitrage training, if you don't already have it, then you don't have it, and you probably have the Kallzu SEO is what you're referring to. So these are completely different. Like William said, it drives eventually to the same result, but you're using a different vehicle, different car, so to speak, to drive to that result. And
Actually, Anthony, just to clarify, so some of the training that is part of this is offered to Kallzu SEO members. It is not the entire training, and it does not include access to any of the review process, any of the software, any of the done for you, any of the future software and things that we have that are going to be dropping actually this year. You don't get access to any of that. The coaching calls, you don't get access to that stuff. So there's a lot. If you're an existing Kallzu SEO member and you see some of the AdWords training, that's great. You know, you can do something with that. If you haven't done it already, there's probably a reason why you haven't, and the reason why is probably what you're missing, and what you're missing is right in front of you, right here, right now. That would be my answer to you that are existing Kallzu SEO members. Some people have been able to make some things happen, no doubt, with just the limited training. But on the whole, the success rate of an actual Kallzu Ads member is far, far greater because there's much more hand-holding on that end. So yeah, not to get crazy on the whole, like, if you're a Kallzu SEO member or not. You know, if you're not, it doesn't matter for this. This is all on its own, 100%. It doesn't need anything added into it. And so some people did have some access to some of that training, but not the full package, and not anywhere near all the stuff that, like the bulk of the funds from this that you're looking at, the $397 and $47 a month, that goes towards the done for you stuff, the software management, everything, right? That's where your money goes. And so that's one of the reasons why some of that training was made available to you Kallzu SEO members, is because there's no, I mean, it's just training, right? There's no training is training, right? There's no ongoing costs really with that, except maybe some hosting here and there, but that's very minimal. Plus, we wanted to add value to you guys for already being part of the Kallzu family, right?
Okay, awesome. Thanks for the clarification too. So I was speaking out of turn a little bit,
That's
but I
okay.
thought you knew
Totally
everything.
okay. Totally okay.
Trying to save your voice a little bit anyway. But Art's asking a question. When you have an AdWords budget, say $50 per day, is this paid daily, or do you pay it at the end of the month like Facebook?
So Google has thresholds that are similar to Facebook, not in amounts, but similar as to how they work. You'll pay within 30 days or when you hit the threshold. Facebook does, I think, like at the end of the month, regardless of where you're at, if you've hit a threshold or not, they're going to charge you, something like that. So it's a little bit different of a process, but there are thresholds in Google Ads. and they do charge you based on the thresholds. The maximum threshold in Google Ads for a regular account, okay, a regular account would be $500 threshold. You can front load your Google account, which is something you can't do with Facebook. I wish they would allow that. That would make life so much easier. But they allow you to front load your Google AdWords account, at least so you can do that if you're worried about thresholds. Also, when you reach a certain stage, not that you necessarily need to know this right now, but I'll tell you anyway, uh, you'll get a dedicated account manager, and your ability to be billed by greater amounts like 10,000, 15,000, you'll actually have access to that based on your history with AdWords. And so it's a case by case, of course. But yeah, they do not bigger thresholds, but they'll do like a net 30 with you. So that way, like you run $100,000 in ads for the month, you owe it 30 days later, kind of a thing. Because $500 charges every day would get kind of stupid, right? Or maybe two or three of them a day. I mean, your card company's going to be looking at you like, what in the heck is this guy doing over there, you know? But yeah, Google, I mean, when you start running thousands of dollars in ad spend like that, they're gonna they're gonna take care of you, right? You got to reach out to them to do it, but they'll definitely do it.
And you know you're doing something right when you're spending like that because you're banking.
Yep, you got it.
You're banking then. Let's see here. Sam asks, how does it work with voice search on the mobile devices?
That is a very, very, very broad question. I'm not sure what you're trying to ask. How does it work? Someone hits the button and says whatever they say, and it goes into the Google search bar.
Yeah, I think I think the result ends up being the same. If I'm
Well, it's a little different. It is a little different. The search engines are different now. So the mobile search engine is its own entity now. Did you know that? It's
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
okay. So they changed that over, and now it's one of those things like people start talking to their phone, and you'll see that in your search terms, where people literally say the phrase "Okay, Google" now. Not everybody, but some. And when you see that, it's like, okay, I get it. People are starting to talk into their phones versus type into them. And how does that work? Well, it's the same process as it would on the normal Google search. From there, the results are shown, and if inside of that search term your keywords are that you're bidding on are there, then your ad will show. Um, and if not, then it won't. Right? It's very, very, very much like the pay-per-click in that sense.
yeah. That's what I was kind of referring to. Yeah, but yeah, there's going to be extra terms and different people are going to say stuff differently. But the bottom line is for your ad to show up, it's going to be, you know, if your search, if your terms are there, your keywords are there or not, and then of course other factors. But just generally speaking, let's see here. Um, Looks like we actually answered. I've gone through and kind of cleaned up the question box here. Looks like we've gotten all the questions answered. Let's see. So if anybody has any last minute questions here, we're coming up on 2 hours right now, or excuse me, 3 hours.
Yeah,
Uh,
we've been on three.
yeah,
Yep.
it's almost 10. It's 9:58. I was thinking only two, but wow, it's gone by fast though. So if you have any last minute questions, last call for questions, and at the same time, if you haven't gotten in, now's the time to get in. You'll see the countdown clock on uh, the sales page. So check the chat box. It's learn.kallzu.com/AW Divine. I'm going to put it in there one last time for everybody. And then if you have any last questions, now's the time to ask. So let's see here. And got, let's see here. I think he's asked for a clarifying question asked earlier. So we would pay for the calls up front, though, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And let's see here. And per the strategy, get them forwarded to the business. I'd hope so. Yes.
Yeah, that is the mission should you choose to accept it.
Right. Exactly. And then let's see here. Then he has a last follow up here from the operators, and then they close the business to continue. He's talking about the flow of the calls, what he's talking about here.
Okay.
So, but yes, that's correct, Tom. I'll answer it for him. It's getting long here. Let's see. Christopher is asking the question, and this is really going to be a limitation on anybody's business. Basically, how big can you go per month? He said you stopped at about $9,000 a month per profit. Can this be scaled to say up to $1 million per year business?
Can be scaled to more than that. It's totally what you want to do. And the example I showed you is just that. It's an example. It's a case study, something small. Um, I mean, imagine trying to case study Chris's model of 1.1 million, 1.2 million a month. It's not going to be, well, I won't say possible, but because it might be, but but highly unlikely that it would be possible to case study something on that kind of a scale. Whereas something that produces $10,000 in a month for a couple of cities, I mean, come on, man, you do the math, scale it out to 100. What do you got, right? That's the deal. So it's um it's totally uh, up to you to do the work, but is it possible? Yes, the potential for you to do that is there. It is there. So when I said earlier in the presentation, as much as you want and grow it as fast as you want, uh, and from anywhere, I wasn't kidding.
Oh, sorry about that. Had it on mute there. Getting a little punch drunk now. Going on three. It's a little past 3 hours and 1 minute now. So with that, actually, the question box has been. I think it looks like we've answered every question, or I should say,
Awesome.
uh, Williams answered 99.9% of the questions, and I deeply appreciate all the time you spent today, uh, William, and Tom's also thanking you for taking the time to help him clear his head with what's going on here. There's a lot going on, Tom, so we appreciate it. And
Yeah.
best thing to do, Tom's in. Thank you, Tom, and everybody else that's gotten in tonight. It's awesome. I know you're going to love it. And like Tom said here, one of the guys that just got in, he's going to be digging in this tomorrow in the training, giving it us all. And whoever's gotten in, again, thank you, and give it your all too, because this is the real deal here. And like I said, I wasn't blowing smoke up anybody's rear or tailpipe, whatever. This is the real deal, and it's the best thing, best opportunity I've seen to really make a sustainable, full time and beyond income. It's really what you want to make of it. And there's just the barriers have been removed here, and that's what's really amazing about this. Most things you get into, quite candidly, there are some barriers. Most of them are self limitations, but uh, those self limitations have been uh, basically reduced to nothing here. So it's really just giving yourself permission to have success, and that's all you really need for this is to give yourself permission and go for it, as Tom said. So with that, I think we have exhausted all the questions and exhausted William's voice. So, William, I want to thank you so much for spending all this time tonight.
It's
Certainly do
important.
appreciate it. It's been
It's what
awesome.
Yeah, it's important to do because that's what this is built on. It's what it's all about. If you have questions, we'll try to narrow it down, get it specific, and get you an answer. Sometimes it's ranges, but uh, the point is you have an answer. And I noticed most of the questions were targeted towards the next steps, and that's what we want to see. We want to make sure you guys are thinking ahead as to implementing, not thinking all the what ifs like you mentioned earlier. So, yeah. Um, more than happy to come on. Appreciate you having us on and sharing that with you guys.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody, and Victor also put in there he's going to be digging in for sure, and that he's picked it up. Thanks, Victor. And I want to thank everybody for joining us, whether you're invested or not tonight. I want to thank you for taking your time. So I have a lot of folks on the call right now, and appreciate your attentiveness and great questions. Very engaging, which is awesome. And just want to thank William again on behalf of not just myself, everybody on the call. I think everybody's just a little bit smarter now and has a better understanding of not only this opportunity here, but online marketing. Just open up your eyes to a lot more that's out there. So with that, the last thing I will say, I know there's been questions about the replay. If there's going to be a replay, I asked Chris. Chris Winters. He's pretty specific, and didn't look like there's going to be one. So if there is, obviously I'll send something out. If not, we are looking at having an encore live training on Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern. And now, best thing to do is look in your email inbox anywhere between 9 and 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, and I should have an answer to you by then. I'll get it out to you as soon as possible within that window of time, and then we can go from there. But if you haven't already invested, if there's still time on the clock, make sure you head over to learn.kallzu.com/awdvine and get in. I think it's going to be the best decision you've ever made in your IM business. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks again, William. I appreciate it. And tell Chris I said thank you as well, and I'll be talking to him too.
Will do.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Everybody have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever the case may be. And we'll talk soon. Take care. Bye now.